Permit Room. Now, let me just begin like this. Generally, when guests come, I'm a little confident.
Okay.
But today, I'm very, very intimidated.
Nervous.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the
Nervous.
person in front of me, first of all, to complete her whole body of work, we need like 3 podcasts. Right?
One each for each for each language.
Even then, we'll fall a little short. She's a singer, a voice artist, an entrepreneur, a polyglot. Did I miss any other things?
Enough, I think.
She's also very humble. But can I just
A
say
mother
this?
also.
Huh?
Mother
A
also.
mother.
Mommy, yes.
Yeah. And can I just say, you have one life.
Okay. I am. It's interesting how you think I wanted life and I don't think so. But tell me why.
Because you, like, first, I don't know if you realize this because it's your life, but as an outsider, I must just tell you, any of us would give our right arm to have the one career that you have. Choose any of your careers.
Yeah.
Like, I would die happily saying, okay, I have one career like that. To consistently have 3-4 careers, and I don't know if you, okay, I haven't even
We
mentioned
forgot
your
even
name.
voice artist.
Yeah, voice
You
artist.
did mention, yeah.
Yeah, voice art. I'm sorry if I
No,
forgot
you
that.
did. You did mention that.
mention.
Okay.
Okay.
Just your singing career itself is insane. Then your voice acting career, then your entrepreneurship, right? I was going through your Wikipedia, and
The
through that,
titles. Oh my.
the awards, the careers, just the things you have done is just insane. That is like 3-4 lives rolled into one, and just
And this you've been like since the beginning of your like schooling and career, like from 15 or 10, like
10 kadu, 15.
15. Like we were thinking in 15, 10 we were like winning sack race.
I wish I could have won sack race, but I think I failed in
You
that.
won like only a Tamil Nadu State Award for the first song that you sang.
Yeah.
and so I just wanted to ask you this before we begin. We have with us Chinmayi Sripada. Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Welcome to Permit Room.
Thanks.
Yeah. And you were always, when we created a list of dream guests, you were always on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And I was just saying this yesterday. I feel like the whole reason we spoke to Rahul so long was to get through you.
Aada
somehow.
paavingala.
We told him towards the end of the podcast. Also.
Excuse me.
So I just wanted to ask you this. Firstly, how are you with praise? Like, because it's just going to be 2 guys like fanboying for like hours.
Yeah,
Are you uncomfortable?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
heavy imposter syndrome. So
For you also?
yeah.
So it doesn't end at all in life? Is there no solution? And secondly, how do you like feel about people asking you to sing some lines and all?
I've done that all the time. I've done that outside bathrooms and theaters. Like, singer, no? Sing, they'll say. Like, what? I go to the beach and I want to have, the masala boiled peanuts and I'm eating. Madam, singer, padunga. I'm like, dude, I mean, you will never do this to a dancer. And then at that point, not knowing how this is, you will not do this to an actor. Then I realized they'll say this dialogue. That's when, then that say this dialogue happened to me also. Wherever I go, say this dialogue from Jesse. And I'm like, oh, now I have to. Because immediately when somebody asks me something, I have a blank out for a while. So I think in an award function, they asked me after Trisha in Yemai Chesave Tamil Vennai Thandi Varvaya, you're dubbing for her only in Leo. And I'm like, I think there's something in between, but I'm forgetting. But I'll tell you, then I realized I forgot about 96.
Okay.
In my thank you speech or something. So that's how it is. We blank out. So yeah, I get asked to sing. And it's also a very entitled singer only, no, sing. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. I will also have to say.
At least there's a mic, there's a setup here.
So I'll just start off with this, right? You are one of those kids who are like, whom the classmates just hate. Just not hate is a strong word, but you are that
first bencher.
exemplary kid, the first bencher.
I wasn't.
You were not?
You were not. Oh.
Okay.
I was horrendous at mathematics. So there were other front benches. I was like, I wish I could be like that. I loved every other, I think until 5th standard I was fine. Everybody was good and I was getting straight A's and hundreds and all of that. And then in 5th standard annual exam, the entire class failed in mathematics.
Okay.
And then we had to have a re-exam in 5th standard.
Okay.
I think that somehow completely ruined maths for me. No matter what the genie couldn't go back into the bottle. So whatever it is, then that's it. It is completely gone. And I think at least the school that I went to until 10th standard, at least I don't think I was a very, very timid, introverted, had only one friend, wouldn't talk
Okay.
too much,
Okay.
stuff like that. I was not an extroverted person at all.
Okay.
Is she still your friend?
No, I think at some point we fell out, life happens, things like that. But that's also the thing with a lot of female friendships. We are not able to keep up our friendships as much as men do. Because I think the demands of life, married life, motherhood takes a lot more from us than anything else. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, I think generally we are in touch and there is a school group and things like that. But to actually maintain those long-term relationships also requires being in touch and meeting up, taking the time out. For a lot of women, they don't have, I'm talking about the average woman, doesn't have that financial independence to say, okay, now I'm just booking a ticket and going to meet my friends for the annual get-together. Something that a man can very easily do.
Correct.
Right? So, but even otherwise, I think, in touch with most of my friends in general in a classmate group and all of that. But yeah.
So I read an article that you wrote where you said that your classical training started at the age of 3, and by 4 you were completely in it, practicing 6 to 7 hours a day.
Yeah.
And you were taught by your mom, right? And obviously we have not been trained, but it is supposed to be very, very rigorous, right? So can you just tell us about those formative years, like in your childhood? What is that like?
So I think in a family which teaches the classical arts, it could be, it is rigorous. It is strict. This concept of pyar, dular, and all of that doesn't exist as long as my observations are concerned. I've seen a lot of the doyens of Carnatic classical music. I was exposed to my grandfather for a short period. He is a Padma Bhushan and an MD and a Sangeeta Kalanidhi. He, I think, also was a polymath.
Okay.
I mean, he was an achiever in whatever he touched. And when you think grandfather, what would you think? Oh, this really lovely person with whom you can go and play. I was terrified. Everybody in the house was terrified of him. So that's when you realize that I think this automatic, this tanu that people talk about in Telugu, especially with regard to children, I never saw that in him.
Okay.
And maybe, I mean, on the intellectual aspect of it, I've heard that he's a genius and all of that. And somewhere I think I've seen that with other such vidwans who decided that they were no longer going to be this loving parent. One would rather be the strict taskmaster that the child would be terrified about on a daily basis. So I found my mother character in my grandmother.
Okay.
So my mother was my guru. And 7 hours, 8 hours, sit in the same place. Even if I peed, I would get up, clean up the pee, and then sit and still continue to practice. So that's how, it sounds horrific. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. And
Did you enjoy it? Like,
no, I was extremely terrified at the time because fear was more, I think sometimes as I grew up, I think I definitely did like it. And for whatever it is worth, my mother did give me a choice to say that, do you still want to do this? Because I think the formative years of learning and setting the foundation and bringing your voice into a certain discipline, I think after that, I think by 12 or 13 or something, my mother asked, do you still want to do this? It's a lot of hard work. There is no shortcut. You could always come back. I mean, even if you decided not to do it, you could always come back because you had a very strong foundation to build on. And I think those formative years, maybe even if it is not so early as 3 and 4, but my mother says that she saw a gift in me and there was a promise, and I was repeating tunes that I was hearing and things like that. So perhaps that's why she started.
hello, lovely people. As our way of giving back for reaching 100k subscribers, we have started something called the Permit Room Film Club. We just had the first session of the film club a few days back. It was a wonderful session where aspiring filmmakers got together, discussed the movie, analyzed it. If you want to join the Permit Room Film Club, please take our quarter bottle membership, in which You have to pay $2.99 per month, and you get access to all our Permit Room Film Club events.
And you can also check out our recent live that we have gone. That is accessible only to the members who have subscribed to $2.99, which is the water bottle.
The poll, that is the choice for the next film that will be screened and discussed at the Permit Room Film Club. This will be out on November 1st. So keep watching the space. Take the membership. We hope we are a small part of your filmmaking aspirations, and we'll connect you to the people who could make your dreams come true.
Let's grow together.
Thank you. Okay. And also, when you're a child and like you learn from your mom, that is kind of rare, because I think in Indian classical music, there are a few examples. Like I think Zakir Hussain learned from his father.
Yeah.
That.
Most of the people that you see as legendary today have learned from their parent first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Hariharan sir, Rahman sir, all of them. Their first guru would be their parent, and beyond a point, sometimes there will be some people who say that, I think my child will not listen to me. Therefore, I will send them to a third person.
Correct.
And things like that. So at some point, I think even otherwise, right? In a classical music setting, and if it was a performing musician, music and the sangat and the kind of people that who would be your people that that you would hang out with, the people who you would call home. And those times, I think musicians were friends with each other, and if they were performing in their village or town or city, they will go and stay in their houses. They will be discussing music, this raga, that varnam, this kriti, this performance, that pallavi, this tala, how to perform this. So eventually, whether you're consciously learning things or not, this is constantly coming into your subconscious. You're listening to this is while you're playing, while you're eating, while you're sleeping. So I think that's where the edge happens from somebody who comes from a background of, say, music or any other craft or art form, or even medicine, I would say. Because you're constantly listening to this, and there is a subconscious learning that's happening, which may put you on an edge over somebody else, in my opinion. So I think every legendary musician that you see today has learned from their parent. It's come from the family. And very rarely, beyond a point, they would go to other gurus to hone their skills or to add to their resume, so to say, or their learning aspects. Yeah.
So my next question is a little personal. Please feel free to avoid answering.
No, you can ask me anything. I have no filters.
Okay. So, like, I was just curious about your equation with your mom. Because generally we are told, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. Right? And you were raised by a single mother. Even I was raised by a single mother. So, and for me, my mother was my father in a way. For you, it's even more. Like, Matru Deva Bhava is mom, Pitru Deva Bhava is mom.
Yeah.
Acharya Deva Bhava is also mom.
Yeah.
Right? So, what was it like? Because the general idea of mom is the loving mom.
Yeah.
But for you, she was also the teacher, the strict teacher, I assume. What was that like?
So I'm trying, I think now as a mother myself and an adult, I am looking back at my relationship with my mother in a lot of ways. I think, say about 8-10 years ago, I was very angry with a lot of the things that she did. I have a lot of disagreements with some of the things that she does. Patriarchal notions, and things like that. But beyond all of that, I still hold the belief that she is the best guru that I have ever come across. She's a very selfless guru. She's never taught me differently and taught another student differently. If anything, everybody who's walked into the doors in our house, probably those kids I believe they have learnt more than I have, knowledge-wise.
Okay.
So she has not felt like, okay, my child is singing, therefore I will hold back information. And what if... She was never that. So that way, I think she was a very honest, straightforward, true to the cause of learning, teaching sort of a guru. She was also a victim of her circumstances. And a lot of her behavior was triggered by that. I understand, right, a lot more. Some things maybe she could have chosen differently. but then I guess I did not. Uh, I mean, she did not have the luxuries that I have today, or the support system that I have today. So I think somewhere some amount of compassion is kicking in. Um, it's a tempestuous relationship, but I come from a space of understanding now. There was a lot of anger, and um, I also understand how societally it was punishing for her, especially as a single woman, because society treats the divorcee differently and the widow differently, right? And even as I grew up, I saw we were renting many houses in Chennai, and the once I got to about 18, 19, and I started asking, and then society saw the divorcee's daughter with no male also singing in films very differently. So it was almost as if society was doing us a favor by letting us exist. So I saw all of that in all of our life. I think I have 2 or 3. We still rent a place in Chennai. 2 or 3 house owners that I'm really grateful to. Everybody else were horror shows. Especially now, I think the owner that we have in Chennai. So he stood as a rock through both him and his wife Sundari auntie and Balu uncle. They were. I mean, so when I became front and center of this entire Me Too movement and speaking, I did not think about consequences at all, right? It was not as if somebody was sitting and training us and telling us how to deal with all of this. I mean, I just spoke, I tweeted out that day that, hey, this man is my molester, and that's it. I did not think about the consequences. Like, what if I would be asked to vacate the house? Will somebody else give me a house later? None of it was a thought at that time. And they were really being criticized by their relatives, the other neighbors. And they were like, we are very proud of Chinmayi. And I'm like, wow, who are these amazing people? Because I think if generally people from the film industry itself are people that people don't want to rent out houses to. From what I understand in Chennai, I've not felt that in Hyderabad so much. And Bombay, I don't think was that, because some part of my childhood was in Bombay. So my mother always felt that Bombay was this far happier place for her. But she had no support system to raise me all alone, because my grandmother had to be there and my aunt was already a widow by then. She had 2 kids. So it was a mess. So I think at least for me, I think to understand where all of this is coming from, and for me, once I saw all of these house owners and how they were treating, of course things became better once I'm married, because now you have a husband, right? Now you have, which is why I think I keep saying that I have a support system that the other girls don't have. The other girls are not able to come forward and speak up because their own parents are unable to support them, or they don't have a spouse, or a spouse is there who's like, oh, please don't speak up about your rapist because I play cricket with him. So I've heard all of this. I've heard all of this and more, and I've only been appalled by how people are. So I understand how things would have been and how disappointed and desolate she would have, and she didn't also have the kind of opportunities that I had. So I think yeah,
So
heavy answer for that.
No, I'll give if you want, like a light anecdote about your mom. So we had written an article first, like, way back in 2016 on a website called Virally, and somehow it reached her. So she pinged me on Facebook. She took my number and she spoke to me about some 45 minutes about you. It was like, so for us, it was like one of the first validation that I got from someone inside. Like, thank you for actually, right? This is way back in 2016.
Okay.
And then she spread it across. Appudu WhatsApp groups appudu kotta vachayi. Just like I sent it across all our relatives and all, and everyone is like liking it. Like,
Oh,
felt good.
okay.
We
I'm
just
glad.
like felt so like how proud she is of you.
She never let me know of that. She basically told me I'm useless all my life. So
Actually, that is something even I'm like struggling with now, in the sense that there is that resentment about the way you were brought up,
Yeah.
right? Especially because I also come from a fractured marriage, right? I'm also struggling. As in, my parents split very early.
I don't know why my parents split. My father left us before I knew what was going on.
Okay.
But I think I have an understanding, perhaps why. But well, adults, their choices, their lives. I think as children, one of the first things that we do is we can't fix our parents' marriages. There are two consulting or non-consenting adults who got into a marriage.
Yeah.
Because arranged marriages are all about that. Somebody else tells A and B, you get married now. Otherwise, and then now you have baby within this. So whether they are emotionally, financially, physically ready for this,
They tie up
multiply
with
right now. I'm like,
And that too, my father married again, so I can't fix his marriage, just literally. So, yeah, but now I'm kind of trying. Now I don't want to carry that resentment anymore, because I'm like, it is okay to be angry with them in your 20s and 30s, but if you carry it to your 40s, it feels like it's a burden on you, sort of. So I'm trying to, but I'm still struggling with it, to just kind of make amends and.
don't rush it. I mean, do it only when you are ready. Because I think if you're going to be doing it because, okay, now I'm 40, now let me get it. No, it doesn't work like that.
Okay.
It has to happen organically, naturally. If it doesn't happen, make peace with that also. It's okay.
Okay.
It's fine.
So my question was, when you were training in classical music, generally there is this sort of a dichotomy that classical music people look at film music with a little bit of a chinna chupu. But you were a kid. Were you also consuming film music on the side, like popular music?
No. So I had no TV at home. I didn't grow up with a TV also. One was that we couldn't afford it. Two, I did get exposed to a lot of ghazal and Hindustani classical music. So around my teens, I think I suddenly said, Rahman sir happened. So I'm like, I want to sing in films. I learned the word playback singer, and my mother was like, what? We don't know anybody. You just learn music and we'll figure it out. She didn't say we'll figure it out and all of that. She said, we don't know anybody. You'll just learn music for now or something. She didn't have, I don't think, that's one thing though. She didn't look at something else below her, call something else below her dignity, because in general, music and dance itself was stuff that one not so great people in society do, right? So, as long as it is associated with being elitist and classical music and caste, then that's one. And then if you're not doing all of that, then suddenly it's something else. So she thankfully didn't have those ideas. So when playback singing just happened, I guess it was probably one of these most abominable wishes that I had. And somebody must have been passing, oh, wish granted, and it just happened.
But
I
how
guess.
did that? I'm curious about how did that movement happen? Like, how were you at age of 15? How were you picked by Rahman sir to sing?
So Saptaswarangal was a very popular. It was like Saregama, right?
okay,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
was the time when
you
music
won.
competitions were about music competitions and no drama and backstories. So within 1.5 and 2 minutes, you had to just sing whatever you could, and there was a quarter, semi, and finals. Bus. So in the semi-final round, I think we had singer Srinivas come as the judge, and shortly thereafter, he took me to Rahman sir. I think he just went and told, he was working very closely with Rahman sir at that point, and I think he went and said that I found an amazing talent. You must listen to her or whatever. And then my first song became Devi Varamunivo.
So you were like 15 years old.
Yeah.
And you go meet, were you already like a fan of sorts?
Yeah. I said, I will be playback singer. I will only have a break with Rahman sir. Nobody else. Yeah.
So,
I feel like the gods are partial to some people.
in manifesting also, you got a gold medal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly, so that's what I said. Somebody must have been passing by. They said a wish granted. So I honestly feel that that was, I don't know how that happened, but it just, things just fell into place. And yeah. I got
Do you have any memories of that? Like, because his studio is kind of folklore now, that he records at the nights and all of that. But
Yeah, he records all through the day, night, whenever. I mean, work needs to be done with the number of projects you have like that. So I went at 4 p.m. after school or something. And then I think when they called me to record the final version, it was board exams or something. I said, I will not write board exams. I'll write it next year. He said, the person who was calling Sami, and I said, illa ma, please exam oru varam kachittu vaanga and all. I was like, ayyo, song gone and all. But then it happened. So I went, I saw Mani sir. I didn't immediately recognize Mani sir, of course. And then Rahman sir was the only person I saw. The door opened. I was like, oh, hi. They're like, hi, sing. And then I sang the basic tune from the scratch. And then it was very, all of this thing that you build up about him and all of that. When you go, he makes it very, he dissipates all of that. It makes you feel very comfortable.
Okay.
Doesn't make you feel too aware of his greatness. So at 14, 15, I was like, then I think I remember this. I remember going in and then coming out and was it okay? And he said, yeah. And I said, yes and all. And both of them started laughing. And it's only a couple of years later that I realized what the magnitude of the song was, right? Because there wasn't social media at that point to say how great the movie is, what a great break it was, what a brilliant song it was. And 3-4 years later, I think I was recording for new S.J. Surya sir's film. And I sang If You Wanna Come Along in Telugu. Tamil. So I was just sitting there. We were in a room like this. And after a point in time, I was just, okay, neenga enna paadirkinga? What have you sung before this? And I said, I have sung Devam Tam Thappu. Like, eh? And he's, what? I thought you'll be 35 years old. How did you get the feeling of the mother and all? I said, I don't know. I was 15. He said, how old are you? I'm like, 18. I'm like, are you? And then that's when around the same time was the Nee Manasu Naaku Telusu was also happening. So Jyoti Krishna was like, how old are you? In Tamil, I think the film was called Enakirvadu Unaku 18 or something. So I was 18, he was 20 at the time. So I said, what's the movie's name? He said, Enakirvadu Unaku 18. Then he started laughing. He said, yeah, that's our ages, no? He's like, yeah, correct. So Pa Vijay was also very young, around 20, 21. Everybody in that team at that point was young. So those were really good times. I mean, when we would sit and record a scratch and all of that. So yeah, I mean, I always, I think whatever, all of these hang-ups that I had about myself and my singing, Rahman sir always had ways of not making me aware of that.
Okay.
And he also was somebody who made me aware of the fact that I could manipulate my voice to sing whatever I wanted, however I wanted. So the range of songs that I have, either from E Devi Varmunivo to Maya Maya to Tere Bina to modulating my voice to different things. I think if he hadn't done that, I don't think other people would have followed suit. Because nobody, I think, spends that amount of time to experiment with a singer's voice to see what they can do. First, he set the trend, everybody else followed.
Yeah, my favorite of them is that
Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, and like how many songs that are an essential part of who I am have been sung by you. It's insane. And that time I didn't even know who you were. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew, like when I heard Tere Bina for the first time, that whole album is kind of captivates you. I thought it was a Gujarati lady singing the female part. It just sounds so good. I don't even know how to express it. I thought, no, that's surely a Gujarati woman who is singing that, right? Because the film is based in a Gujarati family. And then I realized it's you. Then Maya Maya. And it's just, it's insane.
Yeah, I think same film, there was both Tere Bina and Maya Maya. Completely two different ways of singing. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm grateful for those opportunities, honestly, that it came through. And then, so I was recording for Mani sir after Kanathil Muthamittal. So almost 8 years, 10 years or something like that. So he just heard me sing Maya Maya and he said, you have grown. And I was like, okay. And very succinct, 2 words, you have grown. I'm like, okay, both age-wise and I hope talent-wise also. But yeah.
No, but in Maya Maya specifically, like the first time it really hit me was, of course, I heard the album. Then I saw a reality show where a singer, Molly Dave, sang the song, and I realized how difficult it is. Then I go back to the original. Again, it doesn't even strike me that you sang the other song. Like, there is no way to check back then. But that song has these kind of like Arabic influences, which I honestly thought somebody from Jordan or somebody sang it.
No, it is. I think Mariam Toller did sing most of the song, but in Telugu and Tamil and most of the lyrical portions in Hindi I sang. But all of those Arabic inflections that you hear in Hindi, a lot of them are, all of them are done by her.
Okay.
But in Tamil and Telugu, I had to match for everything else. So that's completely done by me.
And so you have sung by now some famous songs. When did the first idea that I have made it, or okay, I have at least put my footprint or like my foot into the door, when did that happen?
So for the first few years after I had my debut with Rahman sir, everybody made me believe I'm a failure.
What?
Because so they called me the flop singer. What happens is that ante ee song ee singer ni petti film paadipiste film flop అయిపోతుంది. This sort of stories you could easily start a rumor and get it done with. It's only now that thankfully the film industry doesn't have all of this bullshit, but I've seen that.
Okay.
And for a while they also said I'm not from Chennai, because a name like Chinmayi is not something that people will associate with a local singer. They said some Bengali girl from Calcutta came, sang and left. Imagine singing a Tamil song like that and being a Bengali. It's possible because it's Rahman sir. So so they called me the unlucky singer. Then my career wasn't as, you see these, say, about 70-80 songs that are super famous and all of that, and my career wasn't all that hunky-dory. It was fraught with disappointments and a lot of crying, and why am I even singing in my life? Why? Because every concert I would be made to feel like crap by others. And when I went to record also, there was this one time who said, this gentleman that I looked up to, he said, no, don't sing like yourself, sing nicely like Shreya Ghoshal. I'm like, ayo kadavule. And it brought down my confidence. And there was this one day I was just sitting at Rahman's studio, I was questioning my life itself, because at that point not much was going on otherwise. Then Sridhar sir, Sridhar, who's no more, just came and saw me. I think he kind of figured out that something, my mind was completely gone or warped. Just sat down and for some 30-45 minutes was just talking to me about, if you do not hear what you want to hear in your headphones, don't start singing. I'm like, they're already calling me arrogant. Now what do I do? Doesn't matter. If you cannot hear yourself, tell. It's okay. And he gave me without realizing, he gave me a pep talk, which I didn't know I needed. Sadly, the gentleman passed away a few weeks, days, months after that. And I remember bawling in the car as soon as I heard that Sridhar sir passed away, because I think if I had decided to continue to be a playback singer, it was because of what that man told me that day. Okay. And what I had shared, because I think they have seen far more politics and people bringing each other down than I had at my fledgling time. So I've seen all this and more. People, get writing paid reviews in big time newspapers. I mean, imagine giving the concert of your life and then saying Chinmayi was a disappointment, but her dress was nice. I mean, you want to promote the other singer, promote Ra, but why did you have to do this to me? I said, I will bloody put that concert video on, on my blog and all of that, because no YouTube and all at that time. So I said, what is this? So I've seen that and more, and then unlucky singer, and then it was only until I think Varayo or something in Tamil. That one. That's when when a director actually praised my voice on stage for the first time, saying, "The part is super, the part is nalla varu," and all of that. Until then, nobody had acknowledged me. Nobody would say that I sang well. Nobody would even say, so I think they had all played with my mind in such an amazing way that I believed that I was nothing. And I still carry that baggage, truth be told. And then also, I never indulged in paid PR. Not in Bombay, not here. Didn't feel the need to. So my career is defined by, I did not know you sang that. So I said, if I ever do a live concert in Chennai, I am going to call the concert, I did not know you sang that. 100%. Because suddenly everybody just comes up and, you sang this, you sang that. I'm like, yeah, yes. I mean, Chinmayi, that is me.
That gives a more satisfaction.
Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, in a way, I'm glad that people are not able to. I find that a mark of success now that a song is a hit and they didn't really feel the need to attach it to. At that point, that song had to be sung by the lead in a film. And I'm so glad that my identity as a human being didn't have to come to the fore and say, me. I am happy to blend and be a part of that thing. But the song was able to stand out on its own, but not platform me, the singer, so much. I'm very happy to do that. And I think that's also a part of my success that, hey, so I flummoxed you to make sure that you didn't know it was me. So yeah, I now take pride in that a little bit.
No, so singing came to you like because you practice and
Yeah.
Now voice acting came like, can I say, like came by chance?
Yes, because of Rahman sir's office again, there was an engineer at that time called Karthik. He said, why don't you go and dub test for Bhumika in...
Sillion.
Yes, Silunor Kadal. I said, I don't have this typical heroine's voice. I said, I don't have all of that. So your typical heroine voice would be this girly, bubbly, manic pixie, right? I'm like, I don't have that voice. What are you asking me to do? He said, no, they are looking for a very particular type of voice. Maybe yours will work out. And it did. Poor thing, Krishna sir, I mean, the director of that film, it was Gautam sir's assistant. Poor man, really taught me a lot in dubbing. I dubbed for the first time with glycerin in my eyes and all because I had to cry and I didn't know how to cry. I'm like, what is this? He said, bring glycerin. I'm like, what? So then after that, when you have put glycerin in your eyes will water, therefore your nose will water, then you like do all that. So like, I'm crying, why Gautam and all I'm doing, apdida, come. So I think that became my learning experience as well. And I always credit Krishna sir for having taught me most of the nuances of dubbing at that point. And every film was a nice learning experience. And there were times that I would say that, hey, I'm not trained for this. So I felt very bad. Like, what if I'm taking somebody else's job away? I'm not trained for this because I came from this thought process, you need to train for something for so many years before doing all of this. So I was like, not knowing that there is no training as such for dubbing, right? People just started doing it. And strangely enough, 100 films have happened in dubbing, I guess. 100-ish.
Yeah.
So you're easily the most accomplished voiceover dubbing artist in the country. Like by far, there's no debate. And I keep thinking like your shoulders might hurt from carrying the careers of so many actors for decades. But that is such an amazing thing because like I'm just curious about this. So there are many actors who you have dubbed for across like age groups. Obviously, Samantha Association is the most famous, but like Anupama Parameshwaran,
Lavanya Tripathi.
and Lavanya Tripathi. Just the
Mrinal
whole-
కూడా చేశారు కదా?
Yeah, I'm Mrinal also. Hi, Nana.
So do you listen to their voice and kind of try to mold it according?
I don't plan on doing it, but it happens automatically.
Okay.
It's one of the things that music director Ramesh Vinayakam sir once told in an interview, where he said he really loves how he said my voice is like water; it takes the shape of the vessel that it's presented to. So at that could be my undoing also in some cases where I also start perhaps taking some of the things that the director actually wants to avoid. So I think somewhere I kind of absorb, I'm very sponge like that way. And which is why I end up sounding very close to their actual speaking voices also beyond a point. So yeah, I think Samira or Lavanya Tripathi, I think Hanu sir, when he asked me to do both Lavanya and also this other film that I also did for him, Sita Ramam. But he is amazing. I mean, the way he envisions his leads in a certain manner and he wants them to sound a certain manner. Lavanya was that career itself, that those lines itself in that film, that character, not career, character itself was quite magical. Yeah.
నాకు త్వరగా పెళ్లి చేసేయండి నాన్న.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to be that entitled guy who makes
Go ahead.
requests.
Yeah.
But like if I give you a line, like a random line, not a film line, can you say them in different, or at least your interpretation of the different actors?
I can try, I guess.
Okay, like just give a simple line, anything. Like suppose.
See, that's the thing. It's not even about the actors, right? So it's 3 different actors did Jessie. Amy Jackson, Samantha, and Trisha.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm not thinking about Amy, Samantha, or Trisha. I'm thinking only about Jessie.
Okay.
So Gautam sir wanted Jessie to sound a certain way.
Okay.
She was this complicated. She still wanted to see if she could take wings and fly, but at the same time, she was tied down by the rules and regulations of her upbringing and her father and her faith and everything else, and then decides to choose peace of mind. Right? Something most of us do in our real lives also. So I think at that point, Jessie the character would sound the same, even though it was Amy or Samantha or this. So every film, so the Samantha for Oh Baby is not the same as the Samantha for Chinmayi Sripada. So I think, and similarly, the Mrinal in Hai Nana is not the same Mrinal in Sitaramam. So the Lavanya also not the same Lavanya in Andala Rakshasi, and not the same one in what's this film with Nani that I did?
భలే
Bhale
మగాడు.
So yeah, it's not really about the actress so much, but it's more about the character. Similarly, as it goes for the actors as well, they are playing a certain character who has a certain behavioral tendencies and how they sound versus
Yeah, even Gautam Vasudev Menon's movies lo, the voice was more husky for Samira Reddy in Surya Son of, అంటే తెలుగులో Surya Son of Krishnan or ఏమై చేసావే.
he, I think, thankfully turned the voice of the female lead for the better. From this perennially jumping, fully excitable, happy go lucky, only a certain tonality.
Correct.
He brought in other voices through me and other voices also, to make these girls sound a little more like the girls that you meet on a daily basis, not just in movies.
That's true.
So I just want to go back to like, so when you started your career, you were in your teens. Did you think that you would have such a long career? No. Is that why you continued to study, and like you study, I think you do psychology?
Yeah.
You do BSc psychology and you also take like courses in NIIT and like just other
అక్కడ కూడా గోల్డ్ మెడల్ అండ్ సిల్వర్. I've seen somewhere you won
that is the All India Radio's gold and silver for Ghazal and Hindustani classical music. So what happens with that is, for you to be recognized as a classical musician, one of the rites of passage is to do these competitions with All India Radio. That gives you what is called a graded artist. So earlier in the day, back in the day when there was only Doordarshan and All India Radio, the only way that musicians could find a slot in both Doordarshan and All India Radio is if you were a graded artist. So winning the competition will automatically give you a B grade. Otherwise, you'll have to, there is one long process, and then you'll have to give line after line after line. So the recording itself for the competition will happen at an All India Radio studio. Somebody somewhere will listen to your spool or your tape, and then they'll decide. So while sitting in Chennai, I competed for Hindustani classical music and for Ghazal. So nobody knows where the entry has come in from.
Okay.
So finally, when they were all shocked that I was a Tamilian girl, South Indian girl basically, singing Ghazal and Hindustani classical music, they were like, आप यहाँ के, आपका नाम नहीं, आप यहाँ से नहीं हो? Like, नहीं, हम यहाँ से नहीं हैं, हम South India से हैं. So then I was singing in Jammu for the Ghazal competition, and the Jammu's All India Radio was bombed only about 10 years ago by 10 days ago to the event by terrorists or something like that. So I was just wondering, are we going to go back in one piece after this? So the threats and all. So that, I think, for somehow I didn't have a mother tongue influence of being from South India, even when I sang other languages. So I the gold and silver medal comes from there.
Okay.
And there was a reason why we did that, because my mother was not a famous guru. So this also gives you a certain certification of sorts. Yeah.
And then you get into entrepreneurship. You're selected for the fellowship.
The
And
US state government fellowship. Yeah.
yes, and it was by the US
Yeah.
government. And man, that is a highlight in somebody's life. It's a footnote in your career, but I'm just saying.
Footnote Kadu, I was very excited about it because it was something that, I never really considered myself academically bright. So this was like, oh wow, this is something. I was genuinely excited for it, and I was exposed to some of the greatest minds, including Warren Buffett, where they came and spoke to all of us women, telling us how to navigate businesses, and the women who were. So this was a mentorship program in collaboration with Fortune and the US State Department. It was started by Hillary Clinton. At that time, I think I was 11th batch or something. So they chose women from developing countries to how to navigate patriarchy, how to the glass ceiling. Is it a glass ceiling or is it a brick wall? And the women that would mentor us would be in the Fortune most powerful list.
Okay.
So we saw Indra Nooyi. These women will come and tell us what to do. Sometimes the ladies from I'm still in touch with some of those women. One of them was from Gaza. So I think last year I reached out to her and said, "Hey, are you okay? Where are you? What is up?" And at that time, I think Tahrir Square was happening. So everybody was asking that girl whether she learned anything or not. She was like, I'm not learning anything from here. Everybody is asking me what's going on in Tahrir Square. So everybody didn't take away everything from that. For me, it was a great exposure to a whole lot of people from the business side, corporate side, entrepreneurial side, government side. We saw undercover agents of the FBI, people who had lost an arm or a leg, and how they navigated tough situations, sexism. So all of that was, we had access to some of the, not only the top government officials will be on those rooms, sort of rooms. All of us women were taken there. So it was a huge learning experience, and a lot of women are doing very well. They've learned, a lot of them have learned, and a lot of them are, at least the women that I met from the Arab nations and everybody else, right? When you meet women from different communities, languages, backgrounds, there is so much that you see, that how similar that we all are despite all of these differences, and how our challenges are very similar. One of the things that I remember from my mentor at the time, she was, I think, holding the world number 2 position in Amex at the time, Joan Amble. So she was telling me, when she traveled to Japan and she was talking to women, what is your biggest challenge? And the women told them bento boxes. So there is a cultural,
Means?
their lunch box.
Oh.
There is a cultural pressure on Japanese women to create lunch boxes which are different on a daily basis, and those are stacks and stacks of lunch boxes. So these women, with all of their demanding careers, have to wake up at 3:30 every morning to create these lunch boxes to be presented in a certain manner. And Japanese are perfectionists. It has to be a certain manner. They can't be any other way also. So lunchbox preparing was their biggest problem in life.
Oh.
Yeah. So many things that you learn when you have these conversations with people, and you'll be surprised.
No, the reason I ask you this is because you started your company, Blue Elephant, which was a translation services company, in 2004.
Yes.
Was that to safeguard yourself just in case my playback singing career doesn't, or you always wanted to be an entrepreneur?
I was inspired to become an entrepreneur by somebody, because by the time I finished 12th standard, I was speaking 6 languages. I also started learning French. German was something I had started learning by the time I finished 10th standard, and I was already translating documents. Then mother of my friends, she's into special education. She's quite the name in special education for special needs children now. Vasudha, she came and told me that I think there is an opportunity there, and she was from the US. So
Correct.
that sort of, she basically lit that spark in me, saying that I think you should start this as a service. I see a need there. So I said, what is a company? What is entrepreneur and all of that? So one thing led to another. So whoever I was translating for in German, they asked me, do you know other people who do French and Spanish? And then by the time I had also started traveling as a singer. So it was very easy for me to connect these companies to only native speakers, because there is always loss of loss in translation, because there are some things that you can definitely translate, some things you cannot. One of these, I knew it firsthand when I was translating Autograph, the film, into German for a film festival. I was like, how do you translate LA into okay? I'm like, that LA says a lot there. So what do we? So we don't just say hi there, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
So all of that, I learned that when we were also translating, I think Vinnathandu Varvaya, and also another film of Amir Sir's into another language. So it was beautiful that way. A lot of these things that I learned from other linguists across the world, Latvians and Lithuanians, that the differences and the similarities in languages. And I think the Pangean, that one mass theory, made a lot of sense at some point. Yeah.
It's interesting because your company is around translation.
Yeah.
And your career is also about dabbling with many languages. It's like but just tell me this. So that is not the only business you have. You have like dabbled with different businesses across.
Yeah, so I think I only did what I was genuinely interested in. So language I was genuinely interested in. I was working a lot. I used to be physically myself translating about 18, 19 hours a day. And singing was not paying bills. It looks very successful to read on Wikipedia, but it was not paying my rents or my electricity bills or anything like that. Not that it was huge. My rent was only 3,500 rupees plus some maybe 3 or 200 rupees on electricity, then maybe another 1,000 for 5,000, 2,000 on food. But even those bills were not getting paid at that time. And all of these local politics, Chinmayi is unlucky, this, that, all that bullshit was also, and there were also be factions on who would you pander to be a part of their group so that you can travel the world for shows. So I couldn't be a bootlicker at any given point in time, no matter what. So I realized that and wherever I went with concerts also, my mic would be rigged, then I can't hear myself, and every concert would make me feel terrible about myself. Then I said, I will only do this when this gives me joy. And I will not work with people who make me feel terrible about myself. To a point that one time Chitrama said, Enna, you're saying that you will not sing with that person, this person, this person, that person. I said, yeah, that person is a molester, this person is a molester, this person makes me feel bad about myself. Why would I go through torture? She said, why don't you look at me as your mother and you can imagine how much I would have gone through in life? No, I said, yeah, Chitrama, I will not tolerate as much as you have. So she's a darling. But one day, I think it was a Rahman sir's concert, and we were in the backstage. We were sitting in our car and we were rehearsing and we were eating some dosa or something. She said, "Enna amma mari nanichuko, nee andha mari la mattavangaloda paada maattenla sollada." I said, yeah, I mean, they get paid reviews written. Why would I undertake that torture? And I can't play games and mind games. I mean, what you see is what you get. Either I'm okay or not okay. I'm probably an ambivert. I mean, I can talk to some people for some time, and after that, I'm like, I just want to be in one corner by myself. It's probably also because of a single parent, lone parent, blah, 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 upbringing or whatever. But wanting to find, because I also went through a lot of poverty for a while, where my mother would have to make do with half liter of milk for 1 week. Food was a problem, paying fees was a problem. Somebody would pay my fee. We went through a whole lot of crap. Living in one room kitchen in one terrace, which had an asbestos sheet. All of that I've seen. Coming from so-called very comfortable background, or so they said. So I wanted to make sure that I did not go through that sort of an economic, financial insecurity again. So that was one of the main reasons that drove me to where can I make sure that I don't live that life again, right? Okay. And at the same time, I can't be forced into doing something I did not like. I can't do something I'm not genuinely interested in. So that also, I think translation, one thing led to another. People were happy with, so we worked with some of the best companies in the country and also translated for the US State Department, the consulates, several consulates. So that way, I think I'm very happy with how things. But then again, I was never. The imposter syndrome kicks in because I'm a horrible salesperson. I cannot go and toot my horn and say, "Hey, we are so amazing in this." So if somebody found about Blue Elephant, it would be because they randomly opened the newspaper and they saw that, hey, Chinmayi the singer runs a translation company. Okay, and it's called Blue Elephant. Okay, so I think somewhere this friend of mine who is also a director, C.S. Amudan, I went to him and he was running this ad agency at the time called Winds of Change. Some of the most iconic ads in Tamil Nadu he's done. So I said I want to start in a translation company. Can I call it Bhashantara? He looked at me and said, so what? Then I said, who's going to remember this? So he said, see, yours is a very, very, very boring business. It's a very cut to cut sort of a business. So the only way that you're going to be noticed is when your name is quirky and that becomes a talking point. People will remember. You need a name that people will remember. And Blue Elephant it was 25 years down, and it was prophetic. Whatever he said then was correct. To this day, somebody randomly in some town in Tamil Nadu, neenga white elephant, green elephant mari edho onu pandringilla. So they remember an elephant and it's not grey, right? So it's some color. So and it almost always became a talking point, saying the client will eventually, after a point, they'll be like, why did you choose Blue Elephant? I said, precisely because you're asking me this question and you'll always remember this name. I mean, keep away the fact that Chinmayi, the singer, is doing this. But, and clients continue to come back to us, Zoho or Freshworks, all of them we have translated for. Very, very happy with what we did. And they continue to come back when they had the next product to translate.
Well, now you might have some competition with Niharika Konidala's company, which is Pink Elephant. So
No.
That's the production house.
No. I think I've seen a couple of, I think a few months after my first interview about Blue Elephant, I saw Yuvan Shankar Raja named his production company at the time White Elephant. And then I realized perhaps people didn't tell him what White Elephant means. Yeah, and it closed.
Yeah, it was a white elephant.
Poor thing. But he definitely deserves better. But I don't think people understood what they were, doing at that point. Maybe somebody suggested, he thought, oh, nice name, cute name. So he decided, because white elephant also means Airavata, but also means it's something that's going to drain your finances and your blood and your kidneys and your liver. So yeah.
So, but do you like, how are you with animals? Like, do you like elephant as an animal?
It's my favorite elephant. Favorite animal in the sense of, it's interesting because I always thought that I had a connection with an elephant at some given point in time. Because I think twice in my life, I thought my life is going to go only in darkness. An elephant would come by even in the middle of the road in Chennai. And it would be a temple elephant. Almost always, right? So, and nearby there wouldn't be a temple. I said, how is this elephant coming with this mahot in this nadu road like that? And it will stop our auto and all of that. I've had this experience twice with elephants.
So it would be an elephant that came out of the blue.
Yes. Good one. Good one. Very good one. Nice.
So now the meaning of like full circle of blue elephant.
Yeah. An elephant who came out of the blue. Nice.
Blue elephant.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask you this. Have you ever thought about writing a book?
I've been told to, because I used to write extensively in my blog. A lot of people used to read it as well. I had a steady readership. It was called What to Name It.
Okay.
Because I was not going to go back to Amudan and say, help me name my blog. And then somebody said that it seems like it's inspired out of Raja Sir's How to Name It. I said, I'm sorry, I pardon my ignorance, but I did not know. But What to Name It made sense. Initially, people were like, what on a meat? What on a meat? No, it's what to name it. So I wrote a lot about what I felt about things and people. And I think, at least in long form writing at that point in time, people would disagree, but I think there was far more civil behavior about. And I'm today, I think in this highly polarized space, I think even for you to say, hey, I don't like this film, maybe will be like, I will come for your blood cells. So
correct. But if you ever decide to document your life, I know this writer, very hardworking, very underpaid. So you should contact, because I'm sure it will be something, right? I mean, it's just an extraordinary life. Huh?
Name the writer also.
Me only.
Yeah, I figured.
That was not.
I figured. I was wondering, is it you or him? But, yeah.
So yeah, I think you should consider it at some point.
Maybe when it is time.
Cool. So we have a few member questions, ma'am.
Oh,
These are questions that our subscribers have asked
where? On YouTube, is it?
on our YouTube
Yeah.
community.
On YouTube, we have a subscriber, a membership that's Quarter Bottle. You also can subscribe to it, and then you can ask whoever is the guest coming, you can ask them customized questions of your own, and also get access to our Permit Room Film Club.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Cool. Sindhu asked this question. Hi Chinmayi Garu, I hope you're having a good time here in the permit room.
Yes, I am.
My question for you, as a woman who always takes a stand for what's right and fights for justice, and also as a mother, what advice would you like to give to parents about bringing up their kids in today's society? What according to you is good parenting?
Oh, this is a 5,000 word essay. I think we'll somehow have to lead by example, number one. Two, I think Rahul keeps saying, be the better person. And for me, to be morally, ethically on the right is most important. And to treat the Saha Manushi as another human being worthy of as much respect as you believe you deserve.
Okay.
This would be the top three. Everything else as we go, I guess.
Cool. All right. The Nadenkar. What is your list of the greatest Telugu soundtracks of all time? What is your list of the greatest Telugu movie songs of all time? Mama, this is this is an assignment. This is your homework.
This is like
मुझसे नहीं होगा.
quarterly exams. Muttam question sheet.
Request to provide a top 10 list for each of the questions. Mama, that is, please don't give homework to our guests, man.
Your compositional element, quality of language and lyrics, rhythmic structure, sound design, ultimate. Sir, this is a PhD question. I am not. I only graduate BSc. That's all.
That is how often you keep listening to a soundtrack or song. Okay, we'll just take one aspect of the question. What is an album that you keep listening to, like that has high repeat value for you?
Interestingly, I almost don't listen to music.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And suddenly there will be a mode one day where I am almost always going back to the 60s, 50s sort of compositions.
Okay.
Very pure sort of compositional elements and nice, lovely lyrics
Okay.
and simple suswaramaina tunes.
Okay. And what language are you talking about? 60s?
Telugu, Hindi, Tamil,
Okay.
P. Sushila Gari songs or Lataji, Ashaji songs sometimes. And there'll be days that for 1 or 2 hours, I'll binge only on Rahman sir's music and
Okay.
or Raja sir's music and then get it done with.
Okay. Cool. All right. Kalyani. What inspires you the most when choosing songs or projects, and how do you balance your creative pursuits with your entrepreneurial and social activism efforts? Another question is, if you could collaborate with any artist, part or present, from any part of the world, who would it be and why? Thank you. Your voice has magical quality that touches hearts.
First thing, it is fallacy that people think that female artists have the luxury of choosing songs and projects. I have never chosen my songs and projects. I sang whatever came my way.
Okay.
Balancing creative pursuits with entrepreneurial social activism I'll get to, but with entrepreneurial not a big deal because singing will probably take about including travel time about 2.5 hours of my time.
Okay.
Social activism, yes, that's dicey now because for the stand that I'm taking, I think as long as Tamil Nadu is concerned, it's very interesting because there is one sort which will call me Sanghi and the other sort which will call me rice bag.
Okay.
Okay. So based on what I'm saying on that one particular day, they'll say Sanghi or rice bag. It's like, okay, how can I be both at the same time? I name the molester who's closest to your DMK government and gets platformed by the chief minister. That day I'm a Sanghi.
Okay.
The day that I'm like, okay, what the hell is this? How can this Carnatic musician do this? That day, you bloody rice bag, how dare you? insult bhakti and dharma and gods. I'm like, no. I'm not talking about bhakti or your gods or the dharma. I'm talking about molester man who is Carnatic musician and using your bhakti, dharma and all of that to whitewash, and you are also whitewashing shamelessly. So like, hey, you insulted Rama and Sita, all of that will happen. So I realize that, sometimes I do, respond or rather clap back, but just to, engage myself sometimes if I'm, passenger and not having anything else to do. Um, After having outed my molester, people wanting to work with me is definitely less. The molesters haven't lost work. So you'll still find this, because I don't want to put your channel in trouble, you'll find this really famous playback singer who gets platformed a lot in Telugu films and on Telugu TV channels. Singing in concerts, gets platformed by the audiences, and yet the women who named him will not get hired. So, which breaks my heart. I mean, basically tells you what society is today, and that is one aspect, and this is one aspect. These are different boxes that we work with and around. And if I could collaborate with any artist, past or present from any part of the world, it looks like somebody has made a mashup of my song of Bruno Mars and Kilimanjaro.
Okay.
So it goes, patsa, aha, Kilimanjaro. It goes like, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to be doing this live someday. So that itself is a collaboration of APT and Bruno Mars. I think the Korean artist, I'm like, this is nice. An amazing mashup that was. I actually went and commented on that. So, yeah, I guess I would. With music, I think that's the thing. You could collaborate with anybody. I think there's this. There's a song called "Rock the Tabla" that I sang for Rahman sir in one international project. That's one, and I think I have. It'll be interesting to do something with, because it's actually easy for some two musicians to come together and create. It's very easy.
Okay.
It's not so complicated at all. It'll just flow.
It's interesting he asks the balance between creative pursuits and entrepreneurial journeys, because I found that you are probably the only person who is qualified to be a guest in Indian Idol and Shark Tank at the same time with equal level of experience. Cool. We'll go to the next question. I recently got the membership of this crazy podcast with Santosh. Hey, thank you. Sorry, that's for us.
Thank you.
I have two questions for Chinmayi Garu. With her credit on so many beautiful songs, movie dubbings, and won't be surprised if she did many more gigs over the years. Yes, she did. Which phase of her life is her favorite and why?
Being a mom.
Being a mom. So like the
So
present phase.
the present phase.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay. And why?
You know what? When you look at your child, all of these ideas and these things that people say, nothing signifies the passage of time like your child growing in front of your eyes. And when somebody, all these, what we say, this boomer things that we have made fun of growing up. Oh, you have grown. I totally get it now.
Okay.
Because nothing signifies the passage of time and quick passage of time like seeing a baby and then 5 years. You're so tall. I think it's almost as if it's not about the child becoming tall. It's about time has flown.
Correct.
And I think after you get to 20, 21 and all of that, 22, nobody is saying, are you growing and all of that?
Yeah.
Because after a point for the next several years, we're going to look more or less the same. But it's that time from being a baby and a newborn to even now I'm like, oh, my children are 2 years. Can you please go back to 6 months? I just want to, for 1 hour, can we just play with you at that time? And then I was just completely joking. I was telling Rahul, I'm going to brainwash my children to have children very quickly because I want to become a grandmom. So I say, I understand all of these tropes. Why people are like, please give me grandchild, because I think they want to see the child and the baby. I totally get it, but I'm not going to the toxic space of that. But I understand this is also a way of me to be the kind of parent that I did not want to be.
Okay.
Right? So it's beautiful, the child engaging with you and you wanting to, or being a parent for me pushes me a little more to be the best version of myself, so that I know these two pairs of eyes that are seeing you all around. You think children are not noticing. They are sponges. They are going to be doing everything that you do. And suddenly, once my son will be like, if you do you want something, odu, he'll say. And then my daughter, now she's so something falls down, she will pick it up, she'll pat it, and she'll do, oh, Dobby, and then she'll kiss inanimate object, she will kiss her, teddy bear that has fallen and it's gotten hurt. And then suddenly, if I have stubbed my toe, she'll be like, oh, Dobby, and then she'll come and hug me, and all of that. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful things. And if people are willing and if they like it, being a parent is a beautiful thing to do.
Okay, cool. The second part of the question, Abhishek Chakravartis, please tell us about something that you were a part of and not many people know about it. For example, the Benton song was completely unexpected. Yeah, that was.
Actually, it is unexpected for me. At some given point in time in my past, I just finished it and then I came off and then I didn't realize it was such a big thing. And then somebody tweeted to me saying, it was this random tweet I saw. I'm like, I only sang Benton. And then I'm seeing that Sunidhi Chauhan has gone and sung that in a concert. I'm like, is it so big? Like, really? I didn't, my childhood. Then, of course, there'll be these boys who are like, oh, I don't like you, but I like. I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to like me. I'm not your mom or neither are you marrying me, dude. You don't have to like me. It's okay.
So a project that you were part of that not many people might know.
Most of my career is defined by, I did not know you sang that.
People coming and saying.
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
Cool. Chaitanya. Hi, ma'am. Great fan of your voice. Music emoji. As you're working in multiple avenues, would like to know how you manage work and other businesses along with the sudden music recording sessions, etc. Do you allot separate days for each of these? And how does a normal day in your life look like?
Most of my days have been sleep deprived, post pregnancy especially. It's not that difficult, to manage work and business and sudden music recording sessions. It's okay. The businesses are taking care of themselves. We have a great team. The dermatology clinic is taking care of itself. Our website is taking care of itself. There are no separate days and times. I mean, it looks difficult when you come from a corporate setup where everything is regimented, right? But it's always flown interesting because I also kind of run a sort of a business setup, corporate or whatever one would call it, in a regimented sort of manner. But it seems to flow freely for me. I don't know. It's not so complicated as he's made it out here.
But every day you have a look into what's happening.
Yeah. Even today I came from the clinic only.
Okay.
I'll plug in. You have a skincare range called I Love Skin.
It used to be called I Love Skin. Now it's called Skin Route. Skin Route.
Skin Route.
Inspired from the Silk Route. Because most of our skincare is from Southeast Asia. So therefore.
Yeah. And I Love Skin, is that like a play on I Love Skin?
They did a fantastic job in naming the brand. Yes, it Isle of Skin and then I Love Skin. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, let's go. Next question. Cool. All right, now we have a few questions of our own.
Yes.
Right? And I wanted to ask you this primarily because of who you are, right? Generally, we are told about this thing of separating the art from the artist, right? And that's a very tricky thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes these people become a part of who you are, right? Like for me, one of the conflicts that I have is, for example, J.K. Rowling, right? I mean, she helped me to dream of being a writer. Right? Through her books, I learned basic concepts of acceptance and companionship and all of that. And now, obviously, there is this thing. Then there is another person, Woody Allen, again, whom, for me as a stand-up comedian filmmaker, he's one of my things. What do you have to say about that concept itself of separating the art from the artist? Is it possible?
It's difficult for me because, see, when you're not involved with it, right? As a person who's the artist who has assaulted you and the artist who has the power and the money and the political clout to assault you because of what the art has given them, and the same art gives them immunity. And and I continue to see, and a lot of the rage that I have is also second hand. So it's all the other survivors who have named all of their other molesters, and they're like, oh, what the hell happened to him? He's still a judge on this show. And there are others platforming him. I have had senior playback singers, legendary playback singers call me and say, why are you doing this, Ma? He also came up with a lot of struggle. You also came up with, yeah, both of us may have struggled, but I didn't molest my way up to the top, whatever it is. So for me, I think Pablo Neruda was also Neruda. Was it Neruda? I think so. Where he actually writes how he rapes a Sri Lankan Tamil origin woman in the book. And I was like, hey, yara, no, somebody can some of you, somebody left is it's come to. Some of our most favorite actors, even in Hollywood, um, and even here, the Me Too movement, there are names that were named because the girls were brave, and there were names that we know inside between us women, the whispers that we carry and the secrets that we will, I hope, not carry to our grave, because I hope eventually the men who hold so much power and influence that they are able to ruin the careers of really talented women who say that no, I will not sleep with you, no, I will not have sex with you just because you force me. Because the same thing, I mean, imagine having somebody like who's this guy who got named for abusing a lot of these children, this lovely amazing African American artist, Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
I loved the guy. And we're like, oh my God. But I cannot come to terms with the fact of idolizing anybody's work who comes from abusing children. I'm sorry, it makes no difference to me. Or even I think Morgan Freeman as well. I was like, please. I was talking about Morgan Freeman on some post, and they said, hey, do you know about this? I'm like, So I've had some legendary playback singers also go and shame me on stage on concert tours. And I'm like, what is the point anyway? And some of them are gone also. No point also speaking about it. But that's the thing. I cannot separate the art from the artist when the art gives the artist immunity and continued power and money to continue to abuse those who don't have any of this.
That's such a great answer, by the way. I'll also ask you something else.
You can
I'm
ask
sorry
me
if
anything
it's
you
too, I don't know. I'm just a little. Yeah.
No, like one last I'll ask. When you started to speak up, then you like as a person, I'm saying how I used to operate, and how there would be times where I would give up. Okay, pony ga point vastadi. And that's the difference, where you still don't compromise and you still uphold the voice and you still speak out. Our strength, our difference, our strength, or like that belief in yourself. Adi ekkadiki vastadi.
I don't know. I don't know what makes me continue doggedly again and again, because when so many people opened up to me during that time, I think I used to go to not sleep really, because I was in a blur. I think those 10-12 days of women, just every woman across India at that time was sharing a story. Men were sharing stories. And I suddenly became the person that people were dumping the trauma on me, right? And I used to go to sleep like that, wake up like that, go to sleep like that, and wake up like that. And then after a point, people were like, hey, I think you need a break from this. Because I had people talk to me about horrendous sexual assault. I've had children reach out to me, open up Instagram accounts saying, I'm being molested by my uncle. And I was like, oh my God, how do I find you? And then the child would vanish. And reporting to the police were like, yeah, inni cases lo ekkada nunchi vetukutam amma. And there was this one time that I actually, there was this child, I think in Hyderabad, and I was like, I have to reach out. And I kept talking to the child for the next 10-12 days. And I somehow got the child's trust to say, listen, trust me, I'll find a way out. And I finally reached out to the child's father. And what broke my heart is that they went to the police station and they arrived at a compromise with just 50,000 bucks because the uncle was the molester. And these are times that when you realize that in spite of speaking up so much, there is nothing you can do to change or prevent the continual sexual abuse of children today. And the system and the society as such, families protect the molesters, saying family paruvu potundi. I know when they went to the police station. I know when they arrived at a compromise. And I said, I am a witness now because your child reached out to me. I'm expected by law to report it because the law places the onus on the adult to go and say, hey, a minor is in danger. And the number of people who have named some really famous people out in the open, actually, of people doing this when they were minors, I have absolutely no respect left for people who continue to platform these men, knowing that they went after children and minors when they were not old enough to understand what they were doing. And I think all of this, that I was reading and seeing, and you realize then when somebody very easily will come and say, okay, you join a political party. I'm like, which political party? Which political party is free of a murderer or a molester or a man who hasn't... women in politics have horror stories. Women in medicine have horror stories, right from the time that they study in medical college. Actually, more than the film industry, if there is a sector which has massive sexual abuse, it's politics, it's medicine, it's education. And they'll say, oh, నీకు opportunity కావాలని పడుకున్నావు కదా. They will very easily come and say, right? I mean, all of those words don't have any deep set. They will easily call me a prostitute, slut, this lanjamunda. All of this they keep telling me in Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, Randi, blah, blah, blah. Everything they'll say. All of these are words to me, which is one of these things that I tell the women, take the effect that this word has on you. Take it away, because don't feel so slighted that, oh, I am this puritanship out of you, so that is what they want to come back and hit at you, right? So for me, when I was reading this day in and day out and day in and day out, and all of these DMs from men and women, and to this day I have men whom I don't know saying that I trust you. I would rather trust you than somebody else. And I'm like, I want to ask, so what is this society or this patriarchal society which does not give a safe space for a man to go and confess to his childhood male friend, okay, hey dude, you know what, this other guy came and molested me while I was asleep. A grown 35-year-old man was asking me about advice. Can I go and tell my wife? I said, please tell her, because women will understand. If you had been a woman and you wanted to go and tell your husband that your husband's best friend was molesting you, I would be like, I will think about it. Because your husband is now going to turn back and say, what did you do to attract his attention? Right? So I think systemically and systematically, the hopelessness and the uselessness that I felt, somehow I thought all of this, when you're new into all of this, or rather I did not sign up to be an activist. I was only sharing my story. I was amplifying other people's story. All of this made people call me an activist. That's not what I was signing up. I was not trained in social work. But I came from a space of honesty and sharing something that was raw and vulnerable, and also opening myself up to, hey, you are now a liar because you called your molester to a wedding. Yeah, so most of you are calling your own relative molesters to your wedding because you want to keep up your family paru, right? I know enough and more people who have told their parents that, hey, uncle, grandfather is molesting me. Can you not call him to the wedding? No. ఏమనుకుంటారు ఎవరితో యూ టాలరేట్. ఎవ్రీ 95% ఆఫ్ ఫ్యామిలీస్ హ్యావ్ ఆస్క్డ్ దేర్ చైల్డ్ టు టాలరేట్. 5 minutes కదా, వై? సో enough and more children have tolerated this bullshit. It's like what they showed in Monsoon Wedding. That is the average. She I think Meera Nair spoke about it in a movie so many years ago, and how a child very casually comes and says that he stuck his tongue into my mouth. Right? So she did it so beautifully in that film. And also I think Broche Varevurura, I think.
Broche, yes. That
They
father's
handled it
friend.
very
He's
well.
a tuition master.
Yeah. That exactly shows how power, when they know, which is why one of the things that I'm telling people and parents to not beat your children is that there will be a molester out there who's watching this, and usually molesters are known to the family, known to the child. They will use this fear that the child has, that you use on your child, he's going to use that fear to his advantage. When I say his, I say his, her, them, their, whatever. At that point in time, it is only the abuser and the abused. And especially when it is a child, if we can prevent it, it's not, I have come to a point that I know that it's not possible to prevent sexual abuse. But what we can prevent is the shame, which is why the Giselle Pellicott case is so important. She says exactly what all of us have been saying. Shame must change sides. Put shame where it belongs. This is the only crime where the victim is shamed for a crime that has happened to them. Chain snatching, nobody tells you why are you wearing gold. Your house gets robbed, nobody tells you why are you keeping cash in the house. If I don't know, you get scammed in any of these internet scamming, no, everybody eventually understands, oh, you by mistake only you went and clicked on a link, no, you trusted, no. All of that also they'll be, your entire life savings could be up in the air. They will not shame you for that. But you get molested, you only did something. You didn't wear dupatta, you wear tights, you wear this, you did not wear it this way, you did not cover yourself properly. Or this even worse, you did not wear dupatta and tights, or you are titillating your own father and your brother in the house. So what are you saying? Yes, all men? What are you saying then? That's because I read this other post which said that your father is your biggest misandrist and your misogynist. Because he is the first person who's telling the girl, don't trust men outside. Tell me that girls have been told by their fathers to be, they are telling them to be careful and wear the right clothes even in front of their own brothers, no? What are they saying? That the man is incapable of, being sexually aroused by his own sibling. Is that what they are saying? Then how come somehow women don't have it in us to be sexually aroused by our brothers? Is it? What is it? What is it? How are the rules suddenly different for the male and the female? Ante atanu magadu kada, control cheyalekapotadu. He can't control himself. It's only a man. What? So all of this we need to dismantle. And these are all patriarchal systems that does not serve the man either. If a man does not have a safe space to speak about his own mental agony or his mental torture or the fact that he's in a toxic marriage also, I'm not saying that only women are in toxic marriages. Men can also be in abusive marriages, mentally, financially, physically, emotionally. So if you don't have a safe space to go and say, oh my God, I'm having a horror show at home. Or at the same time, if your bro code is not safe enough for a bro to come and tell you that, hey, another bro has molested me, and you're going to have your gay jokes there, screw you, dude.
Should we take a small break? No? Cool. No, I'll just feel a little...
Heavy?
Yeah, perhaps.
That's our lives. Get used to it.
No, but strength to you, man. Strength to you. More power to you. Really.
So I to answer your question, where does this come from? I think it comes from that day when I felt so useless. I remember going and speaking to the DGP. She is now retired, of the human rights. So she spoke about, oh, so you're new onto social activism. You think you're here to save the world, huh? Like, no. She gave me a dressing down for 2 hours.
Means dressing down means?
Complete stripping me of that.
Oh.
Don't think you are here to come and change. You shut up and sit. She said, పెళ్ళయిందా అయింది పిల్లలు ఉన్నారా లేదు పిల్లలు కనేసి తర్వాత 10 years తర్వాత రా she said. I was like, how dare she, and all of that. So for 1 hour 50 minutes, this is what I heard. Something. And then she told me something that the rest of it I've forgotten. I was very, very, very assaulted in my head, saying, how can she say all of this patriarchal, casteist, all of this was going on in my head. But at the end of the day, what it left me with is that she said, listen, I have been there. I was this police officer who came into the forces thinking that I can get justice for those. And then she said, understand that your meaning of justice is not the same for everybody. What is my justice? I mean, there are 20 women who have named my molester, our molester. All of our sense of what we want as justice is very different. And that is also interestingly, I think, addressed in that, that wedding planner film. What is that with Shobhita Dulipala?
Made in Heaven.
Made in Heaven, yeah. there is this one episode where they talk about this Mehendi girl who gets assaulted by the king of some Rajasthani, blah, blah, blah. And she agrees to take money at the end of it. So they both argue, saying, how can she take money? And then this one is like, who are you to decide what she's supposed to do, what her sense of justice is? So she said that I have seen people who have settled or marry or say that, okay, I don't want to do this. Who wants to go through this justice? My 6 years and going, my case is still in court. I've been banned by the Tamil Nadu film industry for naming a molester. And 6 years and counting. You in the Indian justice system, you need to have patience if you don't have the money and the political clout. So time will go, because that's exactly how the system will tire you and make you question your beliefs. Because the other lawyer will come and tell me in court that this woman was characterless, madam, put her in jail. He will come and say the exact words that the other lawyer, and the judge will be listening to me. Like, why is the judge not saying anything? Madam, please say something, madam. So my lawyer will be like, don't say anything, don't react, don't say anything, don't say. So even the Indian courts are one of the most patriarchal places, because the girl is supposed to, the woman especially, if she goes to an Indian court, she's supposed to dress a certain way. She's not supposed to look normal. I can't go with my hair like this. It needs to be oiled, tied up, not wear bottu or wear sari with dupatta, or sari, or sari should not be bright. You should not look good.
Oh.
Okay, you should look pathetic. You should look bad clothes. Don't wear kajal. Don't wear lip balm. I'm like, what? But not only, it's actually one of the most patriarchal, tough spaces to navigate, and the process is the punishment in this country. Always, for everybody. And this is what works to the advantage of the abusers. Even, you remember that Upar fire case, right? Nobody got justice. Of the cinema, Upar cinema case, where I think some short circuit, and I think the cinema hall burned down, people died, children died, and the perpetrators never saw jail.
They made a web series on that, actually. Abhay Deol and one more actor.
The process is the punishment here. And it'll, years may pass, but no one will ever find out who killed Arushi.
Where the whole cycle of going repeatedly for next hearing,
it'll
next
tire
hearing
you.
itself
They'll
will-
keep getting vaida after vaida. And people who can pay through the system will pay through the system. And that's what even...
Or compromise.
or compromise, out of court settlement. And when you do that, then the entire system will come and say, oh, you have no morals. You go to court. No, you go try and file court case and see how long it takes. And because, that's what the man who banned me also said, court poriya, po, 20 varsha agum, 20 years it will take you. Go to court, no. Because that's exactly what these men, when I say men, human beings, use to their advantage. It is a system skewed for the abuser of anybody, of anything. Abuse of power, abuse of corruption, anything.
So my question regarding this is that generally we ask our guests how they deal with mental health, right? Now, for you, I cannot imagine what it means to be on your Twitter, right? Just the notifications.
Yeah.
Like, it is like a jack in the box. You don't know what is coming.
No, I know what's coming. Abuse.
Yeah. Or maybe somebody seeking help. I don't know. Like, everything is heavy. It's
But
not
how do you
heavy.
have fun like reading them? Like you
So sometimes. I mean, now I'm like, when somebody calls me Lanjamunda, I'm like, say, tell me something else today. The same thing. Now it's what Sanja Ninja. For a while I was like, what does ninja mean? This is something new. And then I realized this is how they are now calling it euphemism for lanja. I'm like, okay, fine. Ante kada. Next, go for the next one. Yeah. What's now? The maximum you'll say rice bag. Now it is rice bag and convert. No.
Okay.
So I have apparently heard that Manobhavalu. I think Manobhavalu must be walking about on the roads, crossing the roads when the signal is red, so that it'll keep on getting debbal after debbal after debbal. Like my daughter said, Dobby.
So with, how do you take care of your mental health?
That's a good one. So I think what doesn't kill you makes you stronger has been a part of my story, I think. So I went through a lot of harassment before Me Too. So I think that kind of made me stronger. I was also one of the first people to file a case in this country for social media harassment, and arrest got made in Tamil Nadu for it. The first ever case in India. So that case is still ongoing, 12 years and counting, in the Madras High Court. So then too, they said, oh, this woman who's upper caste is taking revenge on men who are not coming from the same economic background as her. And the men that I named were working with one collectorate one. And then interestingly, that guy is now working with the DMK IT wing. One of the most abusive pieces of crap, but he's working with the DMK IT wing. I would say that good hiring, I would say good casting for that. And then he actually, I think he would be better suited in the BJP IT wing, but he's probably tame for that now. The other guy was an assistant professor at NIFT. So he basically, they were just saying a lot of things, and he said, why, I think I said, why would you do this or something? He said, I will keep your mom or something like that as my prostitute or something. So I said, I will take you to court. So in court, they're arguing that you should take this as a joke. Like, really? I mean, even the lawyers will say some of the most ridiculous things, right? So then that's when, after a point, you don't take all of this personally. Then if anybody is paid to do something and they'll say anything that comes to their minds, it would be, you can see some of the most interesting things in court that way. Okay. Anybody will say anything as long as they're paid for it.
Okay. Yeah. So then, your mental health, how do you take care?
I have taken therapy, most definitely, because I think there was this one time that I only said I liked family, I mean Samantha and Family Man, and then there was this whole range of people who started one room in Clubhouse talking about Chinmayi being an oppressor. I'm like, what is going on? What are you all on about? And then I just randomly went into the Clubhouse, and there was this doctor called Arvind Raj. He said, he was pissed drunk the day. I know you came and admitted yourself in Kanchipuram Medical Hospital. I have your hormone test. You are mentally ill. I said, if I got admitted for an accident in Kanchipuram GH, which now didn't happen. I never thankfully had an accident where I had to be admitted in a hospital. You have my hormone test, which means that I have a mental health issue. Okay, and I said, you're a doctor, is it? And then the next day I said, I made a medical professional just doing something like this is, oh, you upper caste woman is now taking revenge on somebody who's not upper caste. I said, dude, I don't even know who you are. You're a medical professional who said, I am mentally ill, and you have the medical records for it, which you can prove it on a Clubhouse space. I said, are you out of your mind? And then, the next, somehow the next day, he got my number from somewhere. He said, hello, Chinmayi. I'm like, yeah. Then, listen, I'm telling you sorry, okay? I'm like, I don't want your sorry. Please keep the phone. Hello, listen. I'm like, I mean, you take your sorry and do whatever. Take it with your stethoscope and keep it somewhere else. But I don't need your sorry. And this was his sorry. You better take my apology.
Oh, shit. No. Like, so assertive.
I have to accept, because I am the oppressor who has oppressed one doctor who was going to. I'm like, okay, fine. Dude, I said, you're far more educated than I can even hope to be. Please, I'm only reminding you of your Hippocratic oath. Number one, you never had access to my medical records. Two, you had no business to speak about my medical records. Even if you're a psychiatrist with an MD, you had no business to diagnose me without me coming and asking you for a diagnosis. And four, again, you had no business talking about it in a public domain. Anyway, the concept of privacy and all of this doesn't exist in India. So.
No, I just got a thought here. Like, if he calls and says, like, hello, are you Chinmayi? Like, no, you can like talk like
Samantha.
I am Samantha. Or I'm like Samantha Reddy. Then you're like, oh shit, wrong number.
No, I think worse, he tried to reach out to my mother. That was even, I'm like, Ma, you please don't say anything to him. He will, God knows what he'll do. He will record and edit and put some AI shit and all. So he's like, na edum pesala. I'm like, please, Dave said the RTMA pesada iru poru enak. I mean, just don't tell anybody anything and don't speak to anybody. If somebody asks for me, say, I'm not in touch with her anymore. And which was also true. I was not in touch with her for a very long while. So please don't say anything. Just let it go. So I do take therapy, and especially that time when I was saying that I was feeling very hopeless and useless with the weight of all of this on me. And that's when somebody told me that you cannot be the savior. You are, and you cannot make this your story. Somebody else's abuse story is not your story. So detach. They taught me how to detach and not get emotionally involved with it, because I got emotionally involved with it.
Okay.
That was, that's how. But this abuse and all I am used to. On Twitter.
So, I mean, I think apart from skincare, you can also start a line for thick skincare.
Good one. Nice.
Thick skin. You take care of it. But I wanted to ask you about this other thing that so now you are looked at as sort of like now you can do nothing wrong.
Am I?
I mean, you are sort of looked at as the ideal, like the perfect person in a way, right? Like,
I didn't know this.
I mean,
you are.
we think of you like that at least.
Okay, thank you for your kindness.
That,
But I'm human. I'm prone, like anybody else, prone to make mistakes.
Yeah. Is that a fear that you have that, okay, one day, because it is human to, you're a public person, you're,
So that's the thing. I have no sense of the fact that I'm doing only things right. I want to do what is just, what is honest, and what is truthful. I will not. However, if I've been conned into taking the wrong side, I will come clean and apologize.
okay, correct.
That I am not street smart.
Okay,
That is one smart that I do not have.
okay.
I cannot identify people's games. I will take things at face value. Thankfully, Rahul is far smarter, but he doesn't act on all of those smarts. So he'll be like, I know you're cheating me, but I'll still let you cheat me. I'm like, hey, what is the point of both of us sailing the ship? It will sink. Think about our children. I'll be like, you will let people cheat you of money. I don't know people are cheating me of money. Please do something, Rahul. You know, I know. I'm like, what are you doing with your no? But yeah, he's Buddha Bhagavan that way. You will hit me, I will get hit here also.
There's one more aspect of your career that is not well known, that you and Rahul have hosted so many shows, like award shows,
Filmfare, yeah.
Filmfare.
Because when we were writing the film, we were like, okay, who hosted it last year? And then we find out it is obviously
You and Rahul had hosted
Rahul
the
had
previous year.
hosted. The next one we had written actually.
Oh.
Then you also hosted TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Hindi also.
Yes.
How was that? Like,
So that came again by chance because they wanted me to host Super Singer in Tamil. And I tried. I mean, there was one thing that I was like, okay, this is something new. I can probably learn something from it. Why I also signed up for that was because I was CBSE educated and I was not speaking Tamil fluently. I was speaking like one of the girls from convent educated.
okay.
So I thought this will be a great way for me to learn to speak Tamil on camera without English, which is something that I also try and do in Telugu, but I think I'm not that great.
Okay.
So today, I think I can 99% of my conversation in Tamil, I can try and keep it without English words when facing the camera. So that was a great learning experience for me. Also, it was for me like going to college because I never went to regular college. So I saw a lot of people who were closer to my age and I understood a lot of these Vadivelu jokes and Countermoney jokes and all of this. Pop culture, I had no idea.
Okay.
I grew up in a very different created world that my mother made me. I was like in a Truman show, if you could say. So I didn't get most of anybody's jokes. But that was a great experience for me to be exposed to a lot more music and songs. That way I also, because I'm probably, anywhere else I think it would have been blasphemy, but I have this great thing of going to Rahman's studio, listening to one song on TV. I'm like, I asked Sami the gentleman who you know would call me. He's has been forever working with Rahman sir as an assistant. So I'm like, Sami Anna, இந்த பாட்டு சூப்பரா இருக்கு. யார் அண்ணா மியூசிக் டைரக்டர்? என்னமா நம்ம அண்ணன் போட்டதா? It was கிடக்குச்சி மயிலே. So I was like, ஐயோ. I was like, please don't tell. Not that Rahman sir would mind also, but I was that naive. I hadn't done my homework and okay, this person had done these many songs. So I would never have anything great to say to a person. Say, you know, this song in that movie, in this place you sang. So I would never do all of this mukhastuti as that people call it. So it was horrible. I continue to be horrible at it. So for me, it was a great learning experience for me to understand. A lot of times I'll be like, oh, what should I say about this person? I don't know this. I don't know that. And interestingly, because I came from a lot of ignorance, I think I didn't carry baggage about hosting a show. So therefore, it was fresh for a lot of people. And they really liked me in it. And that led me to somebody noticing me, the gentleman who was the director behind Saregama, who made me host Chote Ustar, never paid me for it also, poor thing me. But yeah.
But you also didn't get paid?
Yeah, what to do? I also didn't get paid. Not for that. For another Sun TV show also, I didn't get paid. And like, yeah, all of these big names, I just keep telling Rahul, if all the money that is owed to you and me, is paid today, we'll be out of debt. Seriously, yeah. So he'll be like, it doesn't matter if they don't pay me. I'm like, dude, you and I don't come from generational wealth. Get that paycheck. But I will say that to him. But here I'm like, so yeah.
I was just going to ask if you did TV because it pays well. But I guess we found the answer.
Initially, when we were doing Super Singer and all, I had to go and pay for my own clothes from the payment that they were giving me. So no. I made nothing from it. Yeah, except maybe I think some amount of people knowing my face and all of that. Other than that, no, not really.
What about live shows? Don't they pay well?
Yes, but then as I was telling you, the faction of it, right? You had to attach yourself to one group, or you had to work with somebody. Now working with a non-molester itself is a big task. But also you need to hit. Comes back to this thing that I did not invest so much of energy into promoting the fact that I am the one who sang these songs. So now at least people who wish me well are like, please start saying that you are the one behind Maya Maya, Tere Bina, Ra 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 Kumara, Ruba Ruba. All of these songs come on the social media. I'm like, you sang. I'm like, yeah, man, I only sang. Now what do I do? So
Give them the link to Chinmayi discography.
Yeah. So now I only have to do, so listen, I sang this. So again, I am not so smart to go do my live show and then take these drone shots and edit and put on my social media. I don't use social media for my promotion, which is sad, which is something that I'm accused of doing. You're doing this for attention. I'm like, what is your attention paying me, dude? Please give me rupees. You're doing this for attention.
So I asked this because now live concerts in India have arrived.
Yeah.
Right, you have Diljits, you have you seen clips from Sunidhi Chauhan's concerts?
Sunidhi has always been a rock star.
Amazing, like now.
I think now she is also probably woken up to the fact that she needs to take these video clips and promote. Because I have seen her perform live for years. She is the number one original female rock star of this country. I mean, of course, Usha Uthup, Asha ji, all of that. My generation, I would say, she was the OG. She is the OG. And she is unbelievably good. She set the stage on fire before people knew that people could set the stage on fire. Other people took notes from her concerts.
And also, like when she sings soft song, because the stereotype is that she sings the item verse, but like there are songs that she has, like Tinka Tinka is Sunidhi Chauhan.
Yeah.
And it just, she's somebody. Who are singers that you really enjoy listening to? Like among your contemporaries?
Most definitely Shreya and Sunidhi, both of them, right? Because Shreya, I think I really admire the fact that she gets the language right. Both her, Sonu ji, the pronunciation and the language, whichever language that they sing in. But I think as a person, because I also know him personally, I love how he's grown and has become this legendary, really successful singer, Arijit. Arijit recorded me when he was working with Preetham sir for Rang Sharbatonka. So I was like, he was teaching me the song. I was like, you sing very well. How come you're not singing? I said, नहीं चिन्मयी जी, आप तेरे बिना ना बहुत सही गाया आपने. I'm like, हाँ, पर आप क्यों नहीं गा रहे हो? So नहीं, आएगा time आएगा or something he said, I think. And nothing about him has changed from then to the guy who was standing in front of me, in front of the mic while I was the playback singer. Singing Rang Sharbatonka, and then Mithun's song happened, and the rest is history. And from the bottom of my heart, I've not been more happy for somebody as I have been for Arijit's growth, because I've known how much he struggled to be who he is today. He's a learned musician. He's a tayyar musician, as they call it. He has learned music. He has done the work. He is very much a vidwan himself.
Okay.
And so in touch with, I think, the higher power. I think the music flows from a higher space. He comes from a place of purity. and he's a nice guy. I don't say nice guy. I'm not handing out good man certificates to anybody really, but I would definitely say that Arijit is a safe guy, and which is why I want men like him to be successful and more and more and more successful, so that the bad guys automatically get erased. That's my wish. So the good men should win, and Arijit should win and continue to win.
You have also sung songs with Arijit.
Yeah,
I think Mast Magan is.
Mast Magan is one. There is one in 24. Nanu Nariginile. One song that I sang with him. There is another Hindi song also. We both got to sing together in this. Kya hai? Something. It's a lovely classical song though. Something Karaja. Never mind. Sorry.
Okay. Correct. Is it okay if we have some song requests?
No problem, but just that I have a sore throat today. I hope to sound good enough. Yeah. It'll be how I sound when I have a cold.
Cool. All right. So we'll just go. We're going to be a little shameless over here.
Yeah.
We'll
go
brand it and we'll say it like
When Chinmayi has a
Chinmayi is soon going to do a live sometime.
Yeah,
Any
why
plans
not?
you have to do live?
Yeah, I'll plan only who's funding it. That's the point.
Yeah.
So there's a small teaser to that.
Yeah, why not?
If you are an event management company, you can get in touch. Yeah. So I think one of the reasons why people are always surprised that you sang a song is because of how different you sound in many of these songs. And I will just start off with my song that really, also I might be wrong with this, sorry for digressing, but I feel like when the credits are given for a song, it is always the male singer's name is mentioned first. Do you think that is why your name coming second kind of?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all. I have had solo songs of mine where my name is very much there.
Okay.
Still, people don't know I've sung it.
Okay.
Can't help it.
Yeah. So my first request would be Tere Bina
Sure.
from
सौतन पुकारे सावन आएगा तो पूछेगा ना जा रे फीकी फीकी बेसुआ दिए रतिया काटो रे काटे ना कटे ना अब तेरे बिना सजना सजना काटे कटे ना ओ काटे ना तेरे बिना भेसुआ दी रतियां ओ सजना हो.
Thank you so much. I have more request cases. Can you?
I have.
So I don't seem
I
greedy.
like this song from Chila Sao.
Mellaga.
हाँ.
మెల్లగా ఊహలే అల్లగా మెల్లగా చలి ఆసే ఏ వందే మనసా తెలుసా ఓకే పెదవుల పైన కొత్తగా చలి గాలై తాకి ఊహల వరస ఐ మీన్ జస్ట్ randomly faffing on the lyrics though, I think. Yeah.
And your song that kind of you like that put you on the map, the song from Kannathil Muttamitte.
Oh.
ఏ దేవి వరము నీవు చిరు నీడలేల కనులా ఆయు అడిగినది నీ నీడే గగన ముగియు దిశ నీవేలే గాలి కెరటమై సోకినావే ప్రాణవాయువే అయినావే వదిని ఊయలుగే ఏ దేవి వరము నీవు.
If there was a time I ever went for waxing, this would be the time. Very easy to take off all the goosebump ridden hair.
Yeah. Also, this has been like from long time. That Kilimanjaro, I want to listen like live because I've got the.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So I was just curious, when people announce you, generally what is, because you have so many adjectives that are given, what is the adjective that is most commonly used for you?
It's wrong, but they call me the national award winning singer Chinmayi. They assume I have won the national award. I haven't.
Okay.
Usually they call me Chinmayi, who's won the national award for the first song. I'm like, no, I haven't.
National awards and maybe that way they meant it.
I said there's a national award at home, but it's not mine.
Yeah. Okay. It's ours, you can say always.
No, that's Rahul's. 100% Rahul's.
So the other thing that I wanted to ask you, and this again might be a little personal, I'm sorry about that.
No, you can ask me anything I told you.
Yeah, but like you and Rahul just seem like, it's a cliche, but it's couple goals, that's a term that is commonly used. Now, I was just curious, who kind of like took the first step in your...
Rahul did.
Yeah?
I didn't get it also that he was flirting or whatever.
Was it because he was a bad actor at that time?
No, he was a really good actor. Yeah, I saw him in Andala Rakshasi. I really loved him. I think everybody loves him in Gautam also, as Gautam. So, interestingly, we bonded over the Ramayana.
Okay.
Oh.
And my disagreements on some ideas, which is, so that's why.
Okay.
And yeah, he apparently asked me out, and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And we have said this a few times, even on Vanilla Kishore's show. So he didn't know, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. And then one fine day, I was like, yeah, let's get married.
That's it? Okay. So there wasn't much of like a dating phase.
No, my mother wouldn't allow all of that. What are you talking about? No chance in hell.
Correct.
She should have beaten the living daylights out of me. Yeah.
No, also one more interesting aspect I want to touch is like your girl gang. Like last time when Nandini Reddy came over here, she would like say that she told a few words about your
She did.
bond, between you, Samantha, and her. And also from this side, if you see, just when you mentioned Vanilla Kishore at Tatindi, that Vanilla Kishore also good friends with Rahul.
Yeah, they are called the Four Musketeers. Sujit, Sesh, Lily, Vanilla Kishore and Rahul. Yeah.
No, so about your girl gang, what is your...
That is the thing, Marco, and the girl gang, and I chepparu kabatti, nenu cheptuna kani, it's like, I think we are like our 3 a.m. people when we know that if we definitely need to reach out and we need a support system, they are right there. They are on what dial? Speed dial type.
Speed dial.
But when did I last meet her? I'll have to sit and think. It's like that. So this girl gang, we are hanging out. Where? No time.
But when you catch up again, it takes off from where you met last.
Yeah, always. We have always. I think these are like really good people, right? So Sam, I think Sam and Rahul go back way beyond what
they did the first movie together.
They are the best friends, right? I'm the one who came in between in this journey. But I think our what shall I say? Our equation is very different to what she has with Rahul, and it's which is why I think she once said that it's interesting that my voice got married to my best friend or something like that. She said in one interview because they debuted together, Sam and Rahul and Taman debuted together in the Tamil film. So interesting how our paths intertwined that way.
And who is the funniest? Like, who makes you laugh the most?
I don't know. As in between all of Nandini, of course, she has a nice sense of it. But I think I'm a mushudu. I think I'm on resting bitch face all the time. It's not very easy to make me laugh. I think. Koncham kashtam. Yeah.
Yes, let's take on the challenge.
Well, you started there.
Yeah, he had mentioned this. Like Nandini Reddy garu, when she came here, she has this obsession with steel ginnelu.
Yeah, like
So
she collects
steel ginnelu. So, Atlanti obsessions, do you have any?
Beyond work, is there anything that you're obsessed with?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with baking, cooking. This no imposter syndrome. I'm a fantastic baker, fantastic cookie maker. So, okay.
Cookie maker.
Yeah, cookies. I make lovely cookies. I make them for my children. So I'm like, oh my God, let me not be food farmers reading all of those labels, but I want to make sure that none of these are for my children. So now my son is like, I came. I'm like, I will make you the ice cream. Well, let's poise after the article times. But yeah, so he will have, I make ice cream at home. I love baking. I've always had an obsession with baking. So I sometimes collect some of these specialty pans. So I started making jams. So there is a very specific copper pan that they make in France for jam, making jam. And I was like, why? I go through down a rabbit hole. I want to know everything about it, and then I'll get bored and I'll leave. I think I perhaps will be on the spectrum. I think I shouldn't say this disrespectfully, but when I look at some of the way that also going back to what I have studied, I have a feeling I also shouldn't self-diagnose. But I definitely think I will fall on the spectrum of perhaps high-performing ADHD. I think so. So one of these days I wanted to go speak to I was talking to another psychiatrist friend of mine. I'm like, I'm having all of this. I said, she was also saying, I shouldn't say this off the bat, but I think you should take the test. So I said, one of these days I want to. So when I need to go, I'll be consumed by it. I'll completely get into it. I'll know everything. And then I'll get in, I'll make it, and I'll come out. So I made apricot vanilla bean jam and all of that. So for that, I'll suddenly collect one pan. I'll be like, is somebody coming from France? I will ask on Instagram. Like, France? Why? I want a jam pan. So when you look at an image, you think it's a pan. This was a pan. So poor thing, when this child from US, he's a fan and all. I said, I didn't know it was so. Then he gave me a bag, and I was like, why didn't you tell me it was this heavy? I wouldn't have put you through this torture. He said, no, Akka, I didn't know. I said, I honestly didn't know because it didn't say. I was like, I'm so sorry. So it's a heavy duty pan. So I will be like, I'll collect the best in tools to few on that. And then at one point in time, I used to be collecting commemorative spoons, just like commemorative stamps. I used to be an avid stamp collector. I would get the first day posters from the India Post Office and all of that. Stamps and coins and spoons. I also love reading a lot. But yeah, I think right now, I'll be with my interest in skincare and what other better treatments can we do in our dermatology clinic. At this point, I'm obsessed with that. So yeah, I think collections it'll be mostly to do with this culinary stuff, making, cooking, recipes. I really, really also like reading about our own indigenous architecture, building styles, materials, and now also growing food. I have taken the permission of my house owner and I said, can I please dig up your lawn and grow my own tomatoes and vegetables? She's like, yeah, okay, go ahead, go for it. Yeah.
So basically, let me just change my statement. That is Indian Idol and MasterChef.
MasterChef, I think I'll fail 100%.
Hello, lovely people. As our way of giving back for reaching 100k subscribers, we have started something called the Permit Room Film Club. We just had the first session of the film club a few days back. It was a wonderful session where aspiring filmmakers got together, discussed the movie, analyzed it. If you want to join the Permit Room Film Club, please take our quarter bottle membership, in which you have to pay $2.99 per month, and you get access to all our Permit Room Film Club events.
And you can also check out our recent live that we have gone. That is accessible only to the members who have subscribed to $2.99, which is the quarter bottle.
The poll, that is the choice for the next film that will be screened and discussed at the Permit Room Film Club. This will be out on November 1st. So keep watching the space. Take the membership. We hope we are a small part of your filmmaking aspirations, and we'll connect you to the people who could make your dreams come true.
Let's grow together.
Thank you. Hello, welcome back. After a small break, we have with us... are you okay with being called Living Legend?
Too much.
We can call my friend Living Legend.
So, thank you for giving us so much time, first of all.
No problem.
So, I just wanted to ask you this. What is your equation or your relationship with God?
Contentious. I would. There have been. I'm quite open about it. There was a time there where I was so angry that I have thrown like that outside the balcony and all of that. Go and all of that I've done. So I have thrown out God's photographs, and then at one point I have been like, I'll be full bhakti. I will do Anka Pradakshinam and all of that, and then I will go on 6-day fast, 11-day fast. That also I will do. So and when I sing, I think at that point in time I feel that God is in the notes and there is no form for God. So sometimes I am like, is there God? It'll be nice if God is there. So I'm finding my way.
Cool. There's this other question that I wanted to ask you, and I was saving it because I didn't know the perfect way to ask it. And I could be wrong in the way I'm asking it, please don't mind. But this is what I want. So I feel like for youngsters, not us, people like Shravan's generation. Shravan is an engineering student
Uh-huh.
and he's an
He's a
aspiring
composer also.
musician.
Oh,
Yeah.
I asked him actually to ask any questions from a music related thing, which if they come up, he'll ask, obviously.
But I feel like the older man, But generally for youngsters, it feels like the gender gap has become like a divide now, right? So for young men, right, there is always the idea that you have to impress a woman, right? And the pop culture around us makes you do it in a certain way, like say movies, for example. Many of the things we are shown in movies can actually put us in jail if you actually do that in real life.
true.
What is a safe, respectable way to tell a person that you like them, that you're interested in them?
I know it's honestly easier said than done, but just be open at the beginning. I would say don't drag it out, and I would also tell this to a woman. There's nothing wrong in a man and coming and telling you that that he likes you or he's attracted to you. But then after you say no and that you're no longer interested, and then he continues to pursue you and make you feel unsafe, then that is a problem. But there's nothing wrong in a man approaching you and say, hey, you know what? And some men are awkward. I get it. There were times that I think there was somebody who was telling me this. There was this man from a not urban background, a rural background, and he hadn't grown up, speaking to women like we would do automatically. Just walk up to a woman, say, "Hey, can you just send?" I can easily go up to a guy and say, "Can you tell me the way, Anna? Can you tell me the way, or whatever?" It doesn't come very easily to people from smaller towns, right? They will think a lot and they'll keep staring. And that's when, for a woman in a city, the staring will be like, oh my God, this guy is like so bad and horrible and all of that. But more often than not, the man is probably trying to frame the question in his head, and then he's never really able to come out and say anything and ends up standing there and staring. A lot of this becomes uncomfortable for the woman, because in general most of the escalated aggravated assault starts with a stare, right? Starts with a stare and then becomes a follow, then becomes a harassment. So all of us in general are hardwired as women to even when we are walking on the footpath and we are in a public road, and then for a while we think, even I look behind my shoulder to make sure that, and if a car slows down in front of me and I'm like, okay, what's going on right now? It's just so normalized for us to be in a hyper vigilant state and always try and be at least one step ahead of being abused, even in a public space, even in a crowded space. Or even going into a temple, the first thing that I'm doing is this. So I'm trying to move around, and I know whether it's a queue, and I'm like, whether I'm wearing a dupatta, not wearing a dupatta, and how the so-called inadvertent group. We know when we are in a crowded place, you know an inadvertent group versus a very, very calculated, body pinch or a boob grab or a butt grab versus something that happens because you're in a crowded area. We know the difference only too well. We know it. And at least I think when, coming back, if things can be a little better when people can speak to each other, but it's come to a point where even speaking to each other is coming with so much of baggage. It's not so complicated. I mean, Rahul asked me out like anybody else. He didn't creep me out. That is there. Some people don't know how to communicate properly. and that is something, as the time goes by, somebody who's generally shy might be like, what shall I say to this person? And then if it gets assumed as creepy, now it'll look as if I'm speaking for the men and all of that. But anyway, but that's also true. You don't want somebody who doesn't mean you any harm to be typecast as an unsafe person. That's exactly what none of the women or any human being or the feminist movement wants. And as long as men are concerned, if you really like a girl, I would say that make your intentions clear in the beginning. If she says, and if you keep dragging it and then say after some 10 months or year, then in some cases it will land well. Some people are like, oh, so you're never my friend. So you always had this intention in your head. And you always had this playing in the background. So I thought I was safe with you as a friend, but you were also, they will go into this. So just be honest in the beginning. If it works, if it works. If it doesn't work, yeah, it didn't work. There's nothing wrong in a guy going and telling a girl that they like her.
Well, you have it there, young men.
Yeah.
Be direct in your intention, but if says no, get the fuck out. I guess that is-
Yeah, and the girls also, it's okay for a guy to come and tell you that a girl, or anybody for that matter, to come and say that they're attracted towards you. There's nothing wrong when somebody is saying that they like you. And say no, be firm. And if you feel like you want to see if it goes somewhere, please tell them that, hey, I'd like to see if this goes somewhere. If it doesn't work out, then work out. That also, you can make it very clear. Yeah.
Communication is important.
Yeah. No games, please.
Correct.
No mind games. That is going to be the biggest F up of your entire life. Whatever. I understand that people are not sure. When I wasn't sure. When I started to get to know Rahul, I was 100% sure I did not want to get married. And I made it clear to him. I said, I'm not interested in getting married. I'm not interested in dating. But he said, so you've put me in a friend zone, something that he said, but one leg of mine will always be out of the friend zone. He made it clear too. And I said, listen, I'm not. So I like talking to you because we spoke about diverse topics, and I was like, oh wow, there's somebody who can give me a very, very different opinion about some things. And I was not having somebody with that sort of a point of view in my circle of people that I was moving with at that point. And then as time went by, I think he and I both realized it works. It fits. And in some cases it doesn't fit. And in some cases people find out after they are married also. That's sad. But yeah, better late than never.
My next question is actually from a friend of mine, Tulsi. Shout out to Tulsi. She loves you. And I have to ask this question, which is like, who is the person that you look up to?
I actually, in a lot of ways, I do look up to Rahul. I've always wanted to be with somebody who I could admire. Yeah, for me, that I needed to respect the person that I was with, no matter what relationship, right? Friendship also, and marriage definitely, because I was going to be with a person who would be a father, and for the first time I would see what a father would be like, all of that. So I definitely think he's a fantastic human being. It was necessary for me to find somebody whose moral compass was always due north. He would be ethical. He would treat people properly. He was not petty. He was not somebody who will not pay people. I mean, if I had found out any of that about anybody that I was married to, I would have exited the next day. Right? I can't be in a space like that. So I admire him. There are a couple of others, I think, in my personal life that were not famous as such that I admire. But I think the greatest fallout of the Me Too movement for me itself is that I think it was like a house of cards that just fell, right? So people I thought I respected, I no longer did. And that was for me a more personal loss, not because of the men that were molesters, but it was also about those who I really, really looked up to and respected. And then they were like, he just molested, no, so what? I was like, okay, what a disappointment. Yeah, more disappointed and heartbroken with all of that than.
We generally ask our guests recommendations, right, on books and movies. Right? And you are an avid reader.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
so,
would have. I haven't read much in the past 2 years. Now I'm studying for an exam, so I'm like,
what exam are you
What
studying?
exam?
It's an international aesthetician's exam. So now I'm like deltoid, sartorius, longest, this longest, that longest, platysma, sternocleidomastoid, all of them. I'm like,
What? Sorry, I didn't
all
get
of these
that.
are muscles.
Yeah. No, but what is the exam for though?
It's an international aesthetician's license.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I
Aestheticians.
aesthetician as in a skincare expert. I mean, one can. I was interested in it, but I've been studying for the past 2.5, 3 years. So this is like it's a certification which is internationally recognized. So you can. I'm legally allowed to perform. What shall I say? Um, Facials and things like that. I mean, do you need this license to perform a facial? Maybe no, but this gives a more scientific, more legally valid license. So if I were to, let's say that I want to quit all of this and then go abroad and work under a dermatologist in their clinic and be their certified aesthetician, I can do that.
Okay. Well, with the already high unemployment in the country, they're going to take away some more people's jobs.
No,
Thank
no.
you.
This gives me also the right to legally suggest over the counter products and ingredients that work best for somebody's skin and hair.
So it is in tune with all your
What I
existing
already am
business.
doing, yes.
Oh, that's great.
So far I was speaking from experiential knowledge. This gives me the license.
Oh. Technically, you'll be more sound. Also.
Yes, I am. Whatever I knew already, I am writing an exam for it, and of course, a lot of this is more understanding. This is great. I mean, to understand the very basics of anatomy and physiology, and understand why the skin behaves a certain way, why the hair behaves a certain way. It's quite fascinating that way.
So going back to my question, if you were to give us book recommendations that these are books that you should read, what would be those books? Like your favorite books?
The Tibetan Book of of Living and Dying,
Tibetan
and
Book of Living and Dying. and Is it like something like the Buddha's?
no, it's just about. It's interesting. I think for everybody, it's a different takeaway. Autobiography of a yogi.
Oh,
Okay.
Living with the Himalayan masters.
Hey, I read that Swami Rama.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of
I
the
read this.
funnest things to read.
Yeah, it's a very great book.
Especially, I think the one thing that I really take away from this book is where I think this gentleman and his master go and look at this person in one cave. He says that I have learned to create fire, and then the guru says that's what matchsticks are for. You have wasted all your time, right? So when in pursuit of true knowledge and siddhi, which is why right now when this is the kind of enlightenment and the kind of spiritual seeking that is about this land, right? About our culture and our hoary traditions and the kind of people that have built our structures and our knowledge systems. And look at what people are saying India is about on Twitter. I'm like, ayyo, enada kadavulai, what is this? Anyway, so going back, there is also another book by Sri M, I think, very much on the same line. Another book that I know I'm saying a lot of spiritual, metaphysical sort of stuff. Also, Mejda. It's the book by the middle brother, Paramahamsa Yogananda's middle brother, where he speaks about this. There's one chapter where he describes. No, it's called Mejda. Mejda. So where he speaks about his about his opinion about Paramahamsa Yogananda as an observer, and also this one chapter where he speaks about what Kali actually means. Fascinating. I read all of these books when I was in my late teens and all of that. Of course, everybody will say Alchemist. And I have also, I would say, think recently, I'm sure there was this other than this recipe, cooking, cake books, and all of that. There is this one that I picked up recently. Mm, what was this? Books on traditional Chinese medicine. So that's something that I'm studying as well. But yeah, that's a little heavy. So I will not get there. That's what I've been studying recently in the past 1.5, 2 years. Research on what they have been writing about skincare ingredients and their effect on face. This entire Southeast Asian traditions on wellness. So I think beyond this, I think Atomic Habits I tried to read. There were a couple of others that I picked up at the. Also I think books on India, India, and I've read a few of those. And then at one point I was also suddenly I picked up a geography book and started reading geography. I was got in between I got bored and I thought I should write some very serious exams. So I went and wrote the civil services prelims. So the entire books for that anthropology. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. And when it comes to film recommendations, what are your favorite films?
Yeah, let's not go there. I've not watched a film in such a long time, and I'm a very very below average film watcher. I cannot take time like what's happening now and all of that. I'll keep doing. So even in one Cinderella or one Disney movie, I'll be like, what will happen now? But I think I loved Inside Out. I also, there's this. What is this film? Coco? Is it Coco?
Coco, yeah. The Disney Pixar.
Yeah, when you ask me about art and artists, that's the first film that came to my mind, where Coco talks about this person who murdered his grandfather, right?
Yeah.
And then finally, the community comes together to erase that man because they know who actually created this body of work. So doesn't matter. He may have sung all of those great songs, but who did the right thing? What did the right people with the right? So I'm liking the fact that children are watching movies like this to not worry about the fact that end of the day, what would be the right thing to do, right? So I think we have had a culture as a human race to continue to celebrate those in power, to continue to forgive their errors and errant behavior. As long as it is just a minor errant behavior, it's fine. But you can't be platforming and celebrating murderers and rapists and contract rapists and things like that. It's horrible. So movie-wise, I would say, yeah, Coco, Inside Out. People are going to be like, yeah, is that all you all?
No, but do you watch movies like updated untara? Interest unda like to watch movies like?
Interest on the time ledu. Yeah, I sometimes I think all of these very very tough films when I see violence and all, I'll have to fast forward. So I also told Rahul there are a couple of Rahul's films I will not watch. I won't watch. Jigra I will not watch.
Okay.
Because I can't see the ending in that film. Then I also told him already that I will not watch some things.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, difficult. He said, he tells me in this also a lot of times he's like, can you see this and give me your opinion? I said, no, I can't do that. Yeah, Chila Sao, no problem. Yeah. So this other film of his called Winmean Girl that I have not watched because I know what happens in the end. I wouldn't have watched Andala Rakshasi if I knew how it ended.
Yeah, in a way, all his movies end the same way. He gets married to you. It's not much of a surprise.
Yeah. So
not big on movies.
I'm sure. I think it's strange that I will suddenly say this, but I liked Kaidi, I guess. Kaidi? Is that the one also?
Lokesh Kankarad's Kaidi.
Yeah. Also, this movie where Karthi is that police officer who goes to Rajasthan and.
Kaki.
No, Kaki. Telugulo Kaki is it?
Telugulo Kaki.
Yeah. I liked Dalapati. I liked Anjali.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Vinay Thandivarvai also. So I'm actually like Jesse in Vinay Thandivarvai. வாழ்க்கையில நான் 5 படம் தான் பார்த்திருக்கேன் types. I mean, I have seen only 3 movies in my life so far. I would fit into that mold. But yeah, I'm sure I'll think of all of these great movies as soon as I step out of this room. But right now it is not happening.
Correct. Cool. All right. Okay. And there's one more question that I wanted to ask. It's for somebody who's not in the world of classical music. It seems like this Hogwarts that you cannot enter.
Yeah.
Right?
how does one get access to that? Like, how do you acquaint yourself with classical music if you have an interest but just don't know where to begin?
YouTube. Start listening to it on if you listen to Hindustani classical music, Google who are the greatest musicians in Hindustani classical music, greatest musicians in Carnatic classical music. Pick up 3 or 4 names from that and play it and see. Usually, then the algorithm will get skewed and it will throw you more of this stuff. So, listen to it and see how you feel about it.
Okay.
And music in general is very evocative. So, it needs to make you feel something. If it doesn't, then don't force yourself over it. Because if you're able to listen to Mozart and Beethoven and feel something, if you're able to listen to Chopin and it evokes an emotion in you, great, go listen to that.
And mine, sorry for.
You can ask anything you want. I told you already.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you have any question? I'm sorry for
I
just
have only one question. Like I'll ask in the end.
the final question. Okay. I have like semi-final, quarter-final questions. So, like, if you look at your life now, like I said, it's 2-3 lifetimes. Is there anything that you want to achieve? Like, what are your like immediate 5-year plans? Like, sorry about this MBA question, but what?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I definitely hope to grow my the this thing that we started, the dermatology business, healthcare, grow this into some other dreams that I have, and then build a really fantastic skincare brand. I have my ethos in place. I just need to find the I think right fit with regard to people, because I'm not in this for you know throw money, burn money, and run one company on loss, show projected random numbers, and then evaluate whatever they call it these days. I want to create something of value that people will like using. And I think there has always been one cream or one powder that has always been a part of our. So I want to create something that's beautiful and it can stand the test of time, and it'll be like this. My mom used to use cuticura powder or something like that. I want to create something that will be like a legacy product that will be beloved, honest, truthful, and efficacious. That's my dream.
Wow, that's a Shark Tank pitch.
Is there any product right now which is already doing well? That
No, we were one of the first people in the country to legally import Korean skincare into the country. So there are a few that I started speaking about it in 2014 in India. Very few people knew about K beauty until I spoke about it, and then one thing led to another. I was speaking about it on my YouTube, and then I was one of the first people who spoke about snail mucin. And then others were like, oh, మీరు చెప్పేంత వరకు నాకు స్నేల్ మ్యూజియం అనేది ఉన్నదని తెలియదు. K beauty, I thought it was a fad, but it's not a fad. They are a highly well researched, highly scientifically backed sort of a thing that comes from the government of South Korea. The government also invests heavily into the research to make sure that good products come out of there. Their FDA is very advanced. So I was always looking at, I looked into all of that. So Japan created those measurements for UVA, UVB, and SPF measurements that you're seeing now was created by Japan. So Japan is a front runner as long as sunscreen is concerned. South Korea, with regard to skincare in general, I'm sure Japan also has a lot more there. But I've been studying this for the past 10 years, so 11 years now. So I will take that somewhere. There are a lot of products that are doing well.
and where can we find them?
On our website, www.skinroot.com.
Skin root. Okay. Huh.
We always ask our guests 4 questions because we feel like whoever has come as a guest has kind of nailed 4 aspects of their life, which is physical health, mental health, financial management, and time management. As somebody who's achieved so much across different sectors, we want to know your opinions on how you deal with these 4 things. Let's start with the physical health.
Lacking, because I do not take care of my health and my diet as much as I would like to, because if there's something that pays the price for everything that I'm doing is definitely my health and my sleep. And I really did pay the price for it health wise a couple of years ago, 1 year ago rather, with my spine. I had a very complicated, not complicated, but a pretty tough pregnancy. And then my spine took the beating for it. And then financial management, I think I don't come from financial smarts, so I'm learning a lot of things for the first time. also not from generational wealth. So we are functioning like a very typical middle class thinking because our background is that. So we are thinking LIC policy maybe and all of that, right? We don't know. We are still yet to own a home because a lot of my savings went into the business. So that way, I'm a very bullish, no holds barred sort of a business owner. I put in my all, I give in my all. Then you said time management. Yes, I think that I juggle pretty well. You said time, financial, health, and
Money management.
money
No,
management.
financial is there.
Yeah, I think
Mental health.
Mental health.
mental health also is taken care of. I manage that. Yeah, that's fine. I think I am pretty aware of how I'm feeling on any given day, but these days I am putting a little effort into my diet with regard to the nutrition, not so much about fat and oil and all of that, but definitely nutrition, how I'm eating as much as possible because it does really get tough. Because as soon as I go from the clinic and I deal with all of that, I go home and then the babies are there. I want to make something for them, or I'm baking or cooking. Automatically, I'm pushing my needs to later. So yeah,
We
because
generally
I want to
ask.
make even noodles at home for them. Your ramen noodles, I found a recipe for that, so I will be making ramen noodles at home.
We generally ask our guests, if not for this career, what would you have done? But I already have like 7-8 answers, so
Yeah.
I'll just skip that question.
Yeah, yeah, we'll skip.
Because it's the, I mean, if you were not, you're already 7-8 things, so I don't think it will matter that much. Right? Cool cases.
I would ask the final question. So, almost 2.5 decades of working.
Yeah,
Okay, you started off very early.
Yeah.
And you've come like really long way.
yeah,
Okay, you've established a company which is into skincare. You've there is Blue Elephant. Your voice career, which is singing. Unexpected గా you also became అంటే తెలుగులో చెప్పాలన్నది మీరు పాటలు పాడే గొంతే కాదు చాలా మంది గొంతు కూడా అయ్యారు. You became the voice of many people. Okay, you've come really along, and we feel very privileged to have you over here.
thanks.
And you sitting over here, Chinmayi. And here is the 15-year-old Chinmayi who sang to Srinivasan sir with her first gig. What would you tell her? What would this Chinmayi tell this Chinmayi?
You are in for a ride, girl. It's a very tough. You've not seen anything so far. You have a long way to go. My God, so far was easy. You thought this is very difficult. It's not. There's a lot more there. And if you can try and prevent getting molested by Vairamuthu that day, don't go up into that room. Yeah. Maybe it's. I know it sounds really, really crazy, but I think if that hadn't happened and I wouldn't have spoken up, maybe some things happened to some people. I'm not speaking about others at all. Okay, I want to be very clear. I think whatever happened to me in some cases happened because it had led to something else. And yes, I couldn't speak up when I was 18, 19 because I was scared. I was a divorcee's daughter. There was no way of reporting sexual harassment. We didn't have the awareness of reporting sexual harassment. The entire state, I think in Tamil Nadu, so many Tamil people across the world were shaming me for naming their beloved poet who was platformed, who continues to be platformed by the politicians in Tamil Nadu and by people and my peers and my legendary seniors. All of that. That's why it's been a disappointment in so many ways. But yeah, I think everything that has happened for a reason. I think as long as my life is concerned, I might not know why at that point, but eventually it all makes sense. At least in my life, and I can say that safely in 40 years of my existence.
Cool. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And do you have any feedback for us? Like, what did you think of the whole?
Yeah, I feel so warm. I mean, yeah, you have to tell us. I feel so warm though.
Hi, nice, thanks. But it was great conversation. Thank you so much. And I think clearly from how I went and came and said, "Oh, are you Hriday?" You would have known that I didn't do my homework before coming in here, and also didn't watch Rahul's interview. But he, as I said, heavily recommended both of you, and I would do the same.
Okay.
Please convey our thanks also to him. And also, like, I was just like, in a previous break, I just realized that since 3 of your friends, Nandini Reddy garu and Rahul and you have come, you can put a word, I think, to Samantha as well.
Dude, this seems like an Amway
Sorry,
marketing.
Multi-level marketing.
Sorry, no, I'm like saying, no, I was thinking like, if Samantha could host it, then I think we'll cover 4 friends.
Oh.
Like,
Okay, that's
no,
a lofty
not
goal.
a pressure
4
to put a
friends.
word. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Sam, she's. I'll definitely do my best.
No need to put a word. I'm saying like when she comes, no pressure.
Yeah.
It should come organically.
Okay.
Permit room.
She's told me to make it organic.
Also, I'm sorry for being a little greedy about this, but can I like request you to sing a song? Are you okay? Are you in the mood for it?
Yeah, which one?
Last song.
Yeah. So there's the song that
Farewell
I love called Zeh Naseeb.
Yeah. Zeh Naseeb, Zeh Naseeb, तुझे चाहूं बेतहाशा Zeh Naseeb, मेरे करीब मेरे हबीब, तुझे चाहूं बेतहाशा Zeh Naseeb, तेरे संग बीते हर लम्हे पे हमको नाज है, तेरे संग जो ना बीते उस पे एतराज है, इस कदर हम दोनों का मिलना एक राज है.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry for putting you through the
What?
thing of making you sing so many songs.
No problem at all.
All right, thank you. It was an absolute joy, and this interview was everything that I hoped it would be, honestly.
Yeah.
Glad.
It was more than also.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming to. I think first time permit room ane place kochinatunnaru. You know what is permit room? No. Permit room means?
No.
Permit room is basically like in bars, there is like a small place where you're permitted to drink.
Oh.
Like behind the bar. It's like a cheap thing.
Oh.
Yeah, behind wine shops.
Wine shops venkala. So government gives you place, not only mandu to drink, place also to drink. That's a mandatory thing that you need to have. Every wine
Like
shop
in
should have.
Tasmac shop will have a place to drink. That's called a permit room, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're not supposed to drink on the roads. So places some you tagesi po.
But that's where all the conversations happen. Like free-flowing conversations happen. So if you like the name, then we came up with it. If you don't, it's Santosh's fault.
Nice.
Yeah.
I definitely think so. I think that's one of the things that sometimes when I used to be thinking about, my God, these men can do business so easily because you guys can just hold a glass of alcohol and just chat up anybody and then, break a deal on over a glass of alcohol. I'm like, oh my God, this one next level talent. I'll never be able to do that in my life. The max I can do is go to an office room and say, hello, yeah, okay, fine, I can do this or I can't do this. But you guys can actually chat up and I think you guys actually have this entire culture. I am not deifying or making a big deal about drinking. Alcohol is bad for you. Also, it's horrendous for your liver. Do not drink. However, I think you guys have this amazing way of cracking business deals and understanding each other, all of that around this thing called alcohol. And I don't know how that works, but yeah, quite fascinating how your bonding works around alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah. And now that you say it like that, you do realize that it is kind of a sort of a privilege of sorts, right? To just go and talk to
Make a
anybody,
deal
man.
over alcohol, a peg or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think considering that it is available at all levels and at all sorts of economic, I think it's always been a part of human culture to be tipsy, I guess. People have found a way of intoxicating themselves from the gods, somapanams or whatever, to now. So, yeah, I guess that's interesting. I find that fascinating, actually. Someday I should read about that. The connection between alcohol and human connections.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And is there, like, if there is a young kid looking up to you, right, watching this podcast, is there anything you would say to the person?
How young is the kid?
Let's say in the turbulent teens?
Oh. They're not going to listen to anything you say.
All right, there we have it. Cool. Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for giving
Thanks for
us your
having
time.
me. Thank you.
Thank you.